I don't need to tell nobody, wish you were here. Don't need no wristwatch to keep the time. To tell the truth, I like to press rewind. And all I'll ever need starts with you and me.
Be my sunshine in the morning, be my remedy on nights, be my sweet salt water kisses mixed with coconut and lime. Be the ocean I dive into, be my afternoon.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Learn about smart betting strategies with AnyBet. Bet wisely, enjoy responsibly, and maximize your success. The temperature by AnyBet is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, the Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Forte blasts the opposition PNP as not fit to lead the country's constitutional reform journey.
What is required to go forward is a different exercise of leadership, and I don't believe it's going to come from over there.
Jamaica Eye Control Center now in operation with 51 CCTV cameras.
Prime Minister offers $2 million reward for information about the murder of 14-year-old Terona Thomas in his constituency.
Opposition leader Mark Golding commends the JCF for the recent reduction in murders.
Motorcyclists continue to lead the number of road fatalities recorded in the country.
In news from the rest of the world, woman surrenders after wanted bulletin over false postmortem claims in Guyana.
Two nuclear-armed neighbors, India and Pakistan, are on the brink of war.
In headline sports, a top Jamaican female sprinter goes pro after foregoing remainder of college career.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, Mandeville's Mayor Donovan Mitchell is blaming Member of Parliament for Central Manchester Rhoda Moy Crawford for the deterioration of roads in the constituency.
95% of the roads that have been flooded yesterday are the responsibility of the Member of Parliament. Are you talking about you don't have no money to clean drains?
The Member of Parliament will respond. We'll also hear from former government Senator Warren Newby, who will be seeking to reclaim Northwest Clarendon for the JLP at the next general election.
In Public Opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's your favorite childhood storybook? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the UWI Mona is set to open a School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences in the upcoming academic year. We'll hear from its principal, Professor Denzel Williams, and the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences, Dr. Roxanne Melbourne Chambers.
From 7 to 8, it's Nature's Remedies with Dr. Denise Daly. Tonight we'll be looking at pimento.
And at 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre MacDonald.
And at 9 p.m., it's Affairs of the Heart with Rodney Campbell. Tonight's topic, does marriage primarily benefit women and children or men?
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile. Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, May 6, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Forte says the opposition People's National Party, PNP, is not fit to lead the country on the constitutional reform journey. Making her contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday, the minister says the opposition's constant flip-flops on the matter render them incapable of fulfilling the decades-long pledge to transform Jamaica into a republic. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has gone on record pinning the current impasse between the government and opposition in transitioning Jamaica to a republic on the shoulders of opposition leader Mark Golding. On Tuesday, Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Forte brought to Parliament what she says is evidence of Mr. Golding contradicting himself at different times in recent years on the matter of Jamaica moving away from the monarchy.
Madam Speaker, we also believe strongly in the importance of providing greater access to the highest level of justice for the Jamaican people by moving from Her Majesty's Privy Council to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court of appeal. However, the consciousness of the other side is not there yet. So let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward. So let us begin with the things that we can agree on. Let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward.
When Jamaica is moving out of the King's Yard, we cannot have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the yard. We will not support a phased approach to dealing with the matter of full decolonization.
So let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward.
The minister says it's clear the opposition leader cannot be trusted to abide by his word.
Where we are now, Prime Minister, it's so important to remind everyone that when we decided on phasing the reform, it was done because it was our understanding that we couldn't agree on everything, but that it was important for us to make progress. And Prime Minister, memories are sometimes short, and people don't know how you were pushed, even though you had the goal. You were prodded to get on with it, and you announced to the heir when he came here that we were moving on. You can't trust people who tell you that they want to do something, and then they change their mind when the work gets hard.
Minister Malahoo Forte says it boils down to a need by the opposition to lead the historical constitutional reform process. However, she says the behavior of the PNP renders them incapable of leading on such a complex issue.
Them say we want we way, we say no want no way. It just can't work like that. What is required to go forward is a different exercise of leadership. And I don't believe it's going to come from over there. I don't believe it's going to come from on this matter. I don't believe it's going to come from people who say one thing when it suits them and move away to something else when it suits them.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the Constitutional Affairs Minister says the government remains committed to transforming Jamaica into a republic.
When you are in the thick of transformation, it is never comfortable. And for me, it's never comfortable when you're in the thick of transformation. Everybody's asking what can be done. And some want to have a self-fulfilling prophecy that nothing would have come of this work. On this side, we remain committed to furthering the goals of independence. We remain committed.
Marlene Malahoo Forte, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. There have been concerns that the current process has stalled. This after the parliamentary opposition indicated they would not support the Republican push unless it is twinned to the removal of the UK-based Privy Council as the country's final appellate court. The PNP says the Caribbean Court of Justice should become the country's final court.
The government has officially commissioned the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF Jamaica Eye Control Center. The state-of-the-art network located at Olympic Gardens in Kingston marks a significant step in the fight against crime and improved surveillance capabilities. Speaking at the official opening ceremony on Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the system will be equipped with 51 closed-circuit television CCTV cameras.
It provides evidence without having to rely on the human factor. Through the Olympic Way CCTV expansion project, we have installed 51 cameras across the corridor, from the Scotiabank at 3 miles all the way to this station, ensuring that virtually no blind spots exist.
Jamaica Eye is a network of CCTV cameras that monitor public spaces and assist the authorities in responding to incidents of crime, accident, or disaster. In identifying Olympic Gardens as a priority zone for surveillance, Dr. Holness says the additional cameras will enable the security forces to better respond to incidents in real time. Dr. Holness provided a detailed description of the quality of the equipment.
The cameras have license plate recognition. They can scan and capture license plates in real time. So this will allow us to detect stolen vehicles. We know that there are pockets of gangs around the area that are involved in the stolen vehicle trade. We are going to find you and we're going to break up your gang. These are fixed high-definition cameras and they are mounted at critical junctions. So they are focused on schools and public spaces, public buildings, and they provide constant visibility. So these have 99% uptime. And these cameras have the ability to pan, tilt, and zoom.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness has announced a $2 million reward for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the brutal murder of 14-year-old Tarona Thomas. The incident occurred on April 17 in West Central St. Andrew, the constituency represented by Dr. Holness.
That 14-year-old girl shot in her head, innocent. It could have been your daughter. Walk into the shop. But as I stand here today, we are going to find you. But I also want to announce that we're going to put up a $2 million reward fund for anyone giving information leading to the capture and arrest of those criminals who are responsible for the murder of that 14-year-old girl in this constituency.
Young Tarona was shot and killed during a drive-by shooting while on her way to the shop. 2 others were injured in the attack. Reports are that about 1:50 p.m., unknown assailants approached the corner of Hill Avenue and Marl Road in Olympic Gardens, where they opened fire. Tarona was pronounced dead at hospital. Dr. Holness says he'll be seeking additional funding from the Security Ministry to boost the reward.
And I'm going to ask the Minister of National Security if he could top it up so that there is a greater incentive. Because somebody knows, people know, but nobody's going to come forward and give evidence. But we just need to know so we can piece things together. Somebody knows.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, he was speaking at the official opening of the JCF Jamaica Eye Control Center on Tuesday.
Opposition leader Mark Golding has commended the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, for the recent reduction in murders. He was speaking at a PNP East Central St. Catherine campaign rally on Sunday.
We have said you need to focus on the wrongdoers and you need to put the tools in the hands of the police force and deploy a strategy focusing on that to reduce crime in this country. And I want to big up the police and the Commissioner of Police for the recent successes that we are seeing in the reduction of the murder rate. We support the police and law enforcement in making Jamaica a safer place. And we acknowledge the excellent work that is being done in that regard.
The country has recorded a near 38% reduction in murders since the start of the year. The JCF says up to May 3, 236 Jamaicans have been murdered. That's 143 fewer than the 379 murders recorded in the corresponding period last year. The month of April ended with 44 reported murders. That's the lowest number of homicides recorded in any one month in Jamaica in 25 years. But while Mr. Golding acknowledged the JCF's recent success, he highlighted the need for accountability and body-worn cameras.
It is because we believe in the importance of a strong police force and believe in the importance of good relationships between the police and the population that they serve. That is why we say body-worn cameras must become the norm when police are going on special operations. There must be accountability for what happens. It is to protect the people and to protect the police so that nobody can say that when force was used in legitimate circumstances that it should not have been used. And on the other hand, it is a good disincentive to abuse of power.
Mark Golding, opposition leader. You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
Celebrate 26 years with IQ Optical. Enjoy 26% off your prescription eyewear and sunglasses this month only. Book your appointment or take your prescription to IQ Optical in New Kingston, Manor Park, or Drexel. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is
14 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay.
Win with love this Mother's Day. Use your JMMB Money Transfer prepaid Visa card between April 21 to May 30, 2025 for a chance to win one of 3 $15,000 Fontana gift certificates, plus cash back from paying toll and shopping with your card. But that's not all. Participate in this promotion and enter to win your share of a $2 million grand prize in the Win with Love promotion, ending on June 31, 2025. Receive money anytime, 24/7 using Visa Direct through MoneyGram, Zoom, or Remitly, or directly with Ria and Zoom. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for full details on how to enter and win. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, motorcyclists continue to lead the number of road fatalities recorded in the country. According to the Island Traffic Authority, 38 motorcyclists have been killed up to Tuesday, May 6. Dana Davey reports.
To date, 134 people have been killed in road crashes from 120 fatal collisions. Motorcyclists account for 38 or 28% of those fatalities. This is 12 fewer than the 50 killed during the corresponding period in 2024. 4 motorcyclists were killed in road collisions across the country between midnight on Sunday and Monday night alone. In one incident, 21-year-old Nicoy Campbell of Faith Pen in St. Anne died after his motorbike collided with a truck on the Faith Pen main road in the parish. Again in St. Anne, 19-year-old Jaden Johnson of Browns Hill, Claremont in the parish died after his motorcycle collided with a truck. It's reported that Johnson was riding his motorcycle when it hit a female high school student. The impact caused the motorcycle to collide with the Mitsubishi motor truck. Johnson was pronounced dead at hospital while the student was treated for minor injuries. In the third incident, 22-year-old Timoy Manderson of Lottery District in St. James died on Monday after his motorbike collided with a cow. Manderson was a porter at Cornwall Regional Hospital. In the other fatal crash, 61-year-old Ronald Cope of Whithorn in Westmoreland died after his red Cobra motorcycle collided with a Freightliner motor truck at about 9:15 Monday night. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
There's been another motor vehicle crash involving a vehicle bearing demonstration plates. Demonstration plates notified by their blue color are attached to an unlicensed vehicle usually owned by a dealer that allows them to be moved from one location to another. A member of the Highway Patrol, Constable Barrett, gave a synopsis of the incident.
12:30 p.m. we were conducting speed and spot check operations along the PJ Patterson Highway. We had signaled a red GLE DC 1622 to stop. It was clocked at 162 kilometers per hour and 80 kilometers per hour. The vehicle eluded us, failed to stop. We called for assistance. An inspector and team who was at Williamsfield stated that they stopped the vehicle. The driver stopped and he sped off later on, resulting in collision along the Winston Jones Highway.
Reports are the driver, who police say identified himself as a Car-Mart dealer, was arrested after he eluded 2 traffic stops before crashing into 2 vehicles in Manchester Tuesday afternoon. Constable Barrett says the police are unable to track vehicles using demonstration plates.
So we're imploring motorists when they are signaled to stop to obey the officers and adhere to the road signs. And we also have an issue with the blue plates, because when same are stopped and they refuse to stop, we have no way of knowing who these vehicles belong to. They cannot be identified by our current system that we're using.
Constable Barrett, a member of the Highway Patrol. The crash comes just over a month after a fatal collision along the PJ Patterson Highway involving a Mercedes-Benz with a demonstration plate. That crash left 4 persons dead, including an 8-year-old child. Police are still investigating the deadly crash, which took place in the early hours of Sunday, March 30. No charges have been laid. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has said that the government will be cracking down on the fraudulent use of demonstration license plates on vehicles.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Guyana's Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, has denied claims circulating in a voice clip that he authorized a nursing assistant to attend the April 28 post-mortem examination of 11-year-old Adriana Young. Adriana was found dead in a hotel swimming pool in Essequibo on April 24, a day after she went missing while on a trip with her family. The recording features a woman alleging that there's a cover-up in the probe into Adriana's death. She claims she was present during the post-mortem and had been sent to observe the proceedings by Minister Anthony. The woman also says she maintained direct communication with Dr. Anthony and the CEO of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation during the examination. The post-mortem was conducted at the hospital. The woman has since been identified as Tiana Serena King Lewis. She is a nursing assistant employed by the Ministry of Health and assigned to the hospital. Minister Anthony and the hospital have categorically denied her claims, describing them as unfounded. The attorney for Adriana's family, who was present at the post-mortem, confirmed to the police that King Lewis was not present during the examination. But her recording has gained traction online as some sections of society, including Adriana's family, have rejected the results of the post-mortem that concluded that Adriana drowned.
Two nuclear-armed neighbors, India and Pakistan, are on the brink of war. This afternoon, India said it launched attacks on 9 sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. In a statement, the Indian government says the attack was ordered after April's deadly militant attack on tourists in Indian-administered Kashmir. And within the last hour, a Pakistan Army spokesman told CNN that India had committed an act of war against its country. He also said 2 Indian aircraft were brought down by Pakistan. Relations between India and Pakistan have declined sharply following April's attack, which killed 26 people. During the militant attack, a group of gunmen opened fire on tourists at a resort. India accused Pakistan of backing cross-border terrorism and Islamabad denies. The Indian government says no Pakistani military facilities have been targeted in its attack on Tuesday. But a spokesperson for Pakistan's military says Islamabad will respond at a time and place of its choosing. According to the spokesman, Indian forces have attacked Pakistan with missiles in 3 of the targeted locations.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Forte says the opposition PNP is unfit to lead the country's constitutional reform journey.
Jamaica Eye Control Center now in operation with 51 CCTV cameras.
The Prime Minister has offered a $2 million reward for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the murder of 14-year-old Torona Thomas in his constituency.
Opposition leader Mark Golding commends the JCF for the recent reduction in murders.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app. Available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Married life is a serious thing. Careful how you put on the wedding ring.
For better or worse, in sickness or health, richer or poorer. But who generally wins in this equation? Or when the maths now add up? So many men avoid marriage, or those within complain of the constant worry that they can lose everything in the end. How reasonable are these thoughts though? Is it fair to use history and judge the likely outcome? If Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can lose a lot, what about the average Joe? Join me, Rodman Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, is marriage just a legal contract that benefits women and children? What happened to the man them?
Husband and wife, pain and problem in them life. It's in them life, in them life.
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. Healthy people, healthy environment. Dewars, here's to the story. And Durex, distributed by Massey Distribution Limited, Jamaica.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Top Jamaican female sprinter Brianna Liston has made the decision to forego her remaining college eligibility at Louisiana State University to become a professional. Liston, who will be 21 years old in 18 days, made her intentions known in a letter to LSU head coach Dennis Schaefer 3 days ago. Liston says the decision was a difficult one, but that after serious consideration and much reflection, she had a chat with her family before deciding that her time as a collegiate athlete had come. The former St. Jago High School and Hydel standout says she has come to accept that she will no longer be able to compete at the level required without being 100% mentally and physically. Liston has not ran outdoors this season after picking up an injury during her indoor campaign. Last year, she ran a lifetime best and school record 7.03 seconds to win the NCAA 60 meters indoor title. Liston joined LSU in 2022 after winning the 200 meters title at the World Under-20 Championships in Cali, Colombia. Barbados Pelicans beat Guyana Rainforest Rangers by 7 wickets in the West Indies Breakout T20 League at the Brian Lara Stadium on Tuesday. Batting first, the Rainforest Rangers made 153 for 6 in their 20 overs. Kevlon Anderson, the consistent man, he led with 6-9, and Quintain of Sampson made 43. Kadeem Alain finished with 2 for 19. In response, the Pelicans made 156 for 3 inside 17 overs. Shakir Paris made an unbeaten 85, Alain 24, and Kevin Wickham 23. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Titans will seek to lift themselves off the floor. They will take on the Windward Islands Infernos at 6 o'clock this evening. Of course, the Titans are at the foot of the 6th-team table, and they're taking on the 5th-place team. Gujarat Titans beat Mumbai Indians and the Rain to snatch a remarkable final ball victory and to go top of the Indian Premier League. A seesaw match looked to have gone the way of Mumbai when a second rain delay stopped Gujarat's chase with another 24 runs needed from 12 balls, the visitors behind on the Duckworth-Lewis method. But the rain stopped and Gujarat target was adjusted to 147, leaving them 15 to get from the final 6 balls as the match resumed moments before the cutoff time. And so the Titans won by 3 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. Final scores: Mumbai Indians 155 for 8, Gujarat Titans 147 for 7. Italian champions Inter Milan beat Spanish giants FC Barcelona 4-3 in a bruising contest at the San Siro Stadium in Milan within the last hour in the second leg of the European Champions League semi-final tie. It was a game for the ages where Milan, after taking a 2-0 first-half lead, found themselves trailing 3-2 and needed a goal in added time to send the game into extra time.
Good ball from Di Marco, Dumfries and Lautaro Martinez! The captain strikes, the captain is onside, and Inter take the lead in this second leg as they did the first. Here is Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Szczesny the wrong way, and Inter 2-0 up on the night, 5-3 up on aggregate. Now lifted in, and on the volley Garcia, and Barcelona back in it. Martin lifting it again, header is on, and this one's in the back of the net. Rafinha again, it's gone in! Rafinha with his 13th goal in the Champions League, and it might just have sent Barcelona to the final. But Dumfries, first time, is that level? Francesco Acerbi, his first goal this season, draws in that level.
After all of that, there was more. David Fatisi then provided the magic in minute 98 as the Nerazzurris held on to win 7-6 on aggregate and to book a place in the May 31 final in Munich.
Into Taremi, laid up for Fratesi, Fratesi into the corner! Inter lead again! Now in extra
14 goals in a Champions League semi-final. It was a wild night, and you can be forgiven if you're exhausted just by watching it. It was just something else. Now, the second leg of the other semi-final will be on Wednesday. England's Arsenal will head to the Parc des Princes in France, and they trail the French champions Paris Saint-Germain by a 0-0 from the first leg. So the Arsenal will have to overturn that 1-0 deficit. And finally, in sports at the minute, Inter Milan, they've relinquished their option to hold talks with the departing Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, leaving Chicago Fire in pole position to sign him should he decide to move on to the MLS. And because we're talking about the MLS, it can't be Inter Milan. It's got to be Inter Miami, where Messi's at. Now, Miami had the 33-year-old on their discovery list, meaning they were the only MLS team to be able to negotiate with him in the United States. They had until mid-July to decide whether to hold talks, but they will not pursue his signing, meaning De Bruyne will not link up with Leo, Luis, and Sergio Busquets and the others. Chicago now have the first option to speak to De Bruyne, who announced in April he'd be leaving City when his current deal runs out at the end of the season. That was sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
At Kia, driving your future means joining the movement that inspires. Whether it's the small but mighty Picanto hatchback or the top-of-the-line tech-rich Sorento SUV, there's a Kia that perfectly fits your lifestyle and your budget. ATL Automotive has gotten Jamaicans behind the wheels of thousands of Kias for the past 7 years. And we're ready to get you behind the wheel of a Kia too. Simply visit the nearest Kia showroom for a test drive now.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project Star. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Get ready for a heartwarming and inspiring celebration as E-Zone honors the dedicated heroes of education on Teachers' Day with a special live outside broadcast from Lorna Auto Prep School. Join us on Wednesday, May 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. as we recognize and celebrate the teachers who shape minds, build futures, and inspire greatness every single day. So don't miss it. Celebrate Teachers' Day with the E-Zone and Lorna Auto Prep School on May 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. Catch the live stream on Nationwide 90 FM's YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Chris and Charles, JTA Cooperative Credit Union, Imperial Optical, Garden Group's Shine 5K Run Walk, and Kingston Bookshop.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Cover Story is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here at Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Cliff. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Good afternoon, Ricardo.
How are you?
I'm all right. A little concerned about the world we inhabit. As we come on air, there's a story developing. Two nuclear-armed neighbors, India and Pakistan, are on the brink of war this afternoon. You'll recall in April, 26 tourists were killed in India-administered Kashmir. Yeah, a disputed border on the borders of both countries. 26, and India blamed Pakistan for the killings. And today India responded by attacking 9 sites in Pakistan, killing, according to Pakistan, 7 people, including a child. And Pakistani military spokesman just told CNN and the BBC that India has committed what he calls a blatant act of war that Pakistan will respond to.
That's right. Pakistan's Prime Minister is actually quoted in the BBC as saying the attack was cowardly. The UN Secretary General has taken an interest. Obviously, these are nuclear-armed powers. Antonio Guterres is calling for maximum military restraint, in this developing conflict. So we'll continue to monitor what's happening.
Coming home now, the mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, is blaming the Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, for what he's calling the poor roads in the constituency. He will be seeking to unseat Ms. Crawford at the next general elections. In the 2020 elections, Crawford defeated the PNP's Peter Bunting in Central Manchester by nearly 1,000 votes.
Mitchell, of course, was speaking at the PNP's Knockpatrick Divisional Conference in Manchester on Sunday. Here's what he said.
Rainfall yesterday. I'm not sure about today, but we know it fall yesterday. Because him driving around and pick up a flat tire and a new brand tire them. 95% of the roads that have been flooded yesterday are the responsibility of the Member of Parliament. And you're talking about you don't have no money for clean drains. It is your responsibility. Down that Bel-Air, car broke down in the water. When you come on to Buena Vista Circle, car broke down in the water. When you come up further up the road to go to Fisher Road, one in a pool of water. When you go near Soldier Camp on Manchester Road, all the police bus could have hardly go through the water. And you're talking about we at the Manchester Municipal Corporation. We are not doing anything. March down that line.
Mayor Mitchell wants Rhoda Moy Crawford to provide evidence of the infrastructure development undertaken in the constituency.
When I go to Clarkstown and the young boys are talking to me, them say them tell her to leave the place because she don't know down there. When I go to certain places in this constituency and this division, people say don't come back in here because you never used to come here. I want the Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, and you can type on the news, to show me one tangible infrastructure work that she has done in this constituency since she's become a Member of Parliament. Show me one. Show me one. We can stand in Central Manchester on the record of our achievement.
That's Donovan Mitchell, the Mayor of Mandeville. And former Senator Warren Newby in March won an internal vote to represent the governing JLP in Northwest Clarendon. He tallied 390 votes to finish ahead of Attorney-at-Law Corey Dunkley, who received 139 votes, and educator Dr. Clovis Nelson, who tallied 8 votes. The former senator, who has been out of the political spotlight for more than a decade, won the vote of delegates across all 4 divisions in that constituency. More than 800 delegates were eligible to vote in the internal runoff.
Newby's victory is expected to be ratified by the JLP Secretariat and Central Executive. He will then replace the incumbent MP Philip Henriquez as a JLP standard bearer in the general elections later this year. If ratified, he's set to face off against former MP for the constituency, the PNP's Richard Azan.
We're now being joined by both Mr. Newby and the MP for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And we should tell our listeners that Central Manchester and Northwest Clarendon share borders. Isn't that so, Miss Crawford?
Yes.
You share a border.
So good evening, Mr. Hughes. Good evening, Ricardo.
Good evening, my bestie, Mr. Newby, next member of Parliament, and of course, a special good evening to all your listeners, especially my constituents of Manchester Central. Thank you so much for having me.
Good evening, MP.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
First of all,
Miss
Ms. Crawford, I would like you to respond to Mayor Mitchell. Yes? Point out one thing you have done in terms of infrastructure in central Manchester in the 4.5 years since you have been elected MP.
Well, Mr. Hughes, my purpose here is to speak to my constituents who I'm sure are listening. And I will be returning to my people with a record of performance. My work speaks for itself. I don't know where to start with the level of achievement that we've seen in the constituency. So let me start with some of the key deliverables. Now, over the last 4+ years, as a member of Parliament, using the resources afforded through the Constituency Development Fund and other agencies of government, I have delivered $30 million in educational grants, which have been used to pay school fees, purchase books, school uniforms, electronic devices. I have invested $5 million in various sports programs. We currently have 7 free community Wi-Fi, community of Bombay, Broadley, Elgin, Greyground, Town, Mandeville Town, Cedar Grove as well. It is operational, but the official launch will soon take place. 1,500 young people have received skills training and certification through my direct involvement. I have provided 620 building grants, 612 farming grants, 535 technological devices, laptops and tablets, 370 entrepreneurial grants, 170 farm work opportunities, 451 water tanks.
MP Crawford.
And those, when we look now at the capital infrastructure development, under which roads and other infrastructure falls, I want to start with the roads, since that is a hot topic, and then I'll move to the others. Now, Mr. Hughes and our listeners, when I became Member of Parliament in 2020, the roads right across the constituency were in a very, very deplorable state. Now, I want to make it very clear before we even go further. Roads, members of Parliament are not responsible for any corridor of roads. That needs to be made very clear and properly established. Members of Parliament are not responsible for any corridor of roads. The agencies responsible are the National Works Agency, the NWA, which is largely responsible for the main corridors. And then you have the municipal corporations across the island, and those are responsible for the community roads, parochial roads. And then you have RADA, and they are responsible for farm roads. So the obvious question is, how are MPs involved in road repairs and road maintenance? Now, as members of Parliament, one of our functions is representation. So from our CDF, we can, under the column of infrastructure, we can allocate monies from the CDF to see to the repairs of roads. Outside of that, at different times, especially in December, the members of Parliament are provided with an allocation to see to the repairs of roads. Outside of that, the TPDCO gives members of Parliament an allocation annually. Each time since I've been member of Parliament, I've used mine to see to the repairs of roads.
So based on your representation,
right, what roads, major thoroughfares have been fixed?
All right. So what I've had to do, listeners and Cliff, because the roads, MPs are not responsible for any specific road. When faced with a decision to repair a road or when allocations are given to members of parliament for us to make recommendations for roads to be repaired, for example, the ongoing REACH program, I make a decision and a determination to do repairs along all corridors, because when I go into a community and there's a bad road in front of me, I don't have the heart and conscience to tell my constituents that I can't fix this, because this is the responsibility of the mayor and councillor. So I have had, over the last 4+ years, allocated my resources along NWA corridors, along parish council corridors, and I have written to the RADA to get funding to see to farm roads. And I want to quickly run down some of these list of roads that I've seen to their repairs. And then you have the Sparks program, which each member of parliament was asked to recommend 10 roads. And just to remind our listeners...
Hold on, Ms. Crawford. Okay, you're taking an awfully long run-up, and we're on the break. When we come back, we want you to answer Mayor Mitchell's direct question. Name one infrastructural work you have done after the break.
Chuck fried chicken always ready. Chuck, original crispy. Burn Chuck, Cajun spicy. Burn Chuck, a barbecue. Burn Chuck, we are go a Burn Chuck.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Ocho is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Cliff Hughes.
We have with us the Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford. Also with us, former government Senator Warren Newby, the GLP's prospective candidate. He's seeking to be the candidate in Northwest Clarendon. Before the break, Ms. Crawford, the question, the mayor has said he needs one major infrastructure work that you've undertaken in the constituency.
I have many to mention. Road falls under major infrastructure. In my very short time as Member of Parliament, one term is yet to be completed. I have seen to the rehabilitation and repairs of 35 roadways. Among those, we have a full rehabilitation, meaning you rip up and it's a totally new road you construct. We have the Long Hill Main Road, Villa Road, North Patrick Main Road, Shortown, the Carteret Road, Blue Mountain, Wilbin, Balvenie Heights, Moreland Scamp Road, Waltham Road, Church Street, Sunset, Royal Flat Main Road, Elgin Main Road, Chowers, Mount Nelson, Jackson Drive, Bottom Costa Grove, Old Kendall Road, New Hall, Mandeville Town, Bellisaro, Banstable, Perth Road, Tulsa Road, Cedar Grove to Albion, Newley Road, Belfield Square, King Street, Morganstown, Harties District, Ingleside, Green Street, Manchester Road. Those are 35 infrastructure work that I have impacted in terms of road repairs. And the full rehab, out of that long list, because some are patching work, out of that long list, 6 of them are full rehab. King Street, Morganstown, because I want to be very clear. Moreland Camp Road, Elgin Road, Love Street up in Top Coffee Grove, and the Long Hill Main Road. So I have seen to the rehabilitation and road repairs along 35 critical corridors. Moving away from road now, housing. Now, as Member of Parliament,
we have to bring in the former senator now.
Yes. All right. You've made a point. 35 roads you were able to list there, Ms. Crawford. Time for former Senator Newby.
Senator Newby, former Senator Newby.
Good afternoon, sirs.
Good afternoon.
My best greetings to all the listeners.
All right.
I'm always thankful to be here, sir.
All right. So first of all, have you been able to get a sense from the JLP Secretariat or the selection committee about what's stalling the ratification, the formal ratification of your candidacy?
I don't know that there's a stalling. My anticipation is that when the Central Executive meets, I will be named as a candidate as a completion to the formality of the selection process that I've gone through.
And why did you decide that Northwest Clarendon was where you wanted to throw your hat into the ring after an extended stay, we can say, away from the political process?
Well, I mean, it's a space that I'm very familiar with. In fact, I have relatives that are from Northwest Clarendon. I would have worked here before as campaign manager for Michael Stern in 2007 to 2010. And I would have built relationships over that period of time. I kept getting calls to make myself available for the seat. And I conceded to the wishes of those supporters once it became clear that the current Member of Parliament, Mr. Philip Enriquez, was not going to be offering himself to go forward. And as you know, a selection ensued, and I emerged victorious. We have managed to heal with most of the persons who were in opposition to my candidacy, and we are moving forward as one team currently.
The majority that you'll have to defend is about 139. That was the margin at the 2020 general election. So obviously this will be one of them that will be watching come election night. What's the strategy in terms of taking it home and maintaining it in the JLP column?
Well, this has always been a marginal seat with very few exceptions. If you look at the data going all the way back to the 70s, this is a seat that has been decided by less than 50 votes in the past, etc. And it says something about the strength of character of the people here. They are mostly, rural, agrarian type. And so they value their opinion, and they will go for one party this time, sit it out, or vote for the next one, depending on what the set of circumstances are. So I'm mindful of that. Today, I am very focused on strengthening the organization, and a lot of the work that we are currently putting in has to do with worker recruitment, worker training, understanding of the needs of the voters, and working out how we are going to be applying ourselves to those issues.
You did say and concede quite accurately that this has been a marginal seat. It has not been won since 1980 by more than 1,000 votes. Yes, 1980 was the last time it was won by the late Edwin Allen by 2,500 votes and more. Since then, it's been won with less than 1,000 votes. Tell me, Mr. Newby, there have been grumblings in the constituency over the level of leadership provided by Henriquez. How is that now? Are people back in the fold? Are people looking or feeling a little bit more optimistic about the representation of the Jamaica Labour Party?
When we meet with them, sir, we explain the set of circumstances, and we engage and, show them how we will lead in a very different way. Then it diffuses some of the tensions. So time is a factor because...
But they feel let down by the Labour Party. Yeah, they voted for the PNP in 3 of the last 4 or 5 general elections. They voted for Henriquez in 2020. This is after Azan won it for the PNP in 2016. He won it for the PNP in 2011. In 2007, it was Michael Stern. Azan won it for the PNP in 2002. Then they decided to go to Labour, and here they find Labour let them down.
Well, as you know, Mr. Azan has run 3 for 20 years he has been the candidate for the People's National Party, or just about. So the disaffection is centered around political leadership. You know, people feel that they have not gotten sufficient, and they want to see change. They want to see their issues regarding the roads and the water and the opportunity for young people addressed. And, you know, I feel that I'm on very equal footing and just need to get around and share my vision with the people and demonstrate in tangible ways how I am about to change.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Newby, how do you think the current national environment in terms of the stewardship of the Labour Party government will translate into your efforts in that regard?
Well, I can say to you that from poll results that I have certainly seen, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, leads his contender by substantial numbers in Northwest Ireland. They are also knowledgeable of this. So I know people in this constituency have seen the work of the Labour Party, respects how the Prime Minister has conducted himself and how he has managed the business of Jamaica, and they are willing to see him to a third term. Now, where the disconnect exists is whether or not the candidacy that, you know, has been put forward meets that threshold. And as I've said before, it is my duty to go to every door and to every classroom to explain my positions and to win favor with the people here.
I can imagine two of your top priorities, water, roads. But I can imagine a voter will tell you when you come to their doorstep, we've heard this all before, and not much has changed. How do you change that mindset?
Well, currently, there are 3 major road projects on the way in the seat, one in Belmont, another in Orange Hill, and one in Top Quarter. You know, the Top Quarter road is being carried out by JSIF, and the other 2 are from the Spark program. And we expect to see a couple others started in very short time. So even though we don't have the office, we have been very busy calling on doors, knocking on doors, calling to people to say, you know, this has been in the pipeline, can you do something about it immediately? As these people are most deserving and they are most frustrated that they have not been, these matters have not been attended to as yet.
For you, Rhoda Moy Crawford, you're defending a majority of just under 1,000 as well.
No, it's 1,000 plus
just,
after the recount.
Okay, just over 1,000. Yes?
Yes,
you could be vulnerable. There's talk that you are vulnerable. Are you?
Mr. Hughes, anyone who says that I'm vulnerable are persons who do not have a full understanding of the political operations in the space. And because of the work that I have done, I am very confident that I will be re-elected. Never before in the history of our constituency have constituents seen the amount of work that I have been able to put in. So you didn't give it a chance to get back to the other infrastructure development, and I'd really want to get that opportunity.
You have 30
because
seconds.
In the area of water, which was one of the major issues that I championed going into the election, road, water, and access to education and training were my 3 major issues. And in the area of water, even before I won, I spoke to my senior members in the party. And after we won, from the time when Minister Orbin Hill was water minister, I put a submission to him and our Honorable Prime Minister.
MP Crawford, we're going to run out of time, and I really want to ask you 2 more questions. I want to ask you 2 more questions. I don't have 2 minutes. I don't have 2 minutes. So here's the first question.
The Mandeville Water Improvement System is another major infrastructure development. The Mandeville Traffic Management System, the housing solution, my lobbying efforts with the Justice.
All right, so here's my question. Here are the questions. What should we make of the fact that you really got a whopping in the local government election? That's 1. And 2, the strategy that you had in 2020 where you said, I think the word you used was that you would compromise Belfield, right? Which is a traditionally strong division for the People's National Party. Does that hold? And how should we read 2024?
All right. Well, quickly, to clear up some misconception, I didn't get a whopping in 2023. My name was not on a ballot. The only time my name was on a ballot was 2020. And when my name returns to the ballot later on in this year, I will be delivering an even greater margin. As it concerns looking at our numbers across the constituency, I don't want to go too much into our preparation. But in the last election, Belfield was one of the divisions that was critical, and I lost the Belfield division in the general election by a little over 300. In the past, the JLP candidates would have lost the Belfield division by 800 plus, 1,000 plus, and so. So we were able to compromise and bring down that margin. If you look closely at the local government election, the JLP candidate was able to secure more than 1,000 votes. She lost by only 500. So we're still within a margin of comfort.
So Belfield is still the key, you think?
No, I wouldn't say that Belfield is the key. All the divisions are critical. I won't say why on this platform. All of the divisions are critical. The 4 divisions in the constituency are critical. What I will say about the Belfield division is that I must ensure that the margin remains no more than 600, a margin of defeat in the Belfield division. And I'm very comfortable looking at the local government results and looking too at the history of local government elections in Manchester Central. If you look back as far as Norman Horn's time, you will see that it is customary for the PNP to take home the seats in the local elections, and in the general election it flips.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Newby, the key to your victory, what are the divisions?
Frankfield, Town to Town, Reaches, and Containment in Spalding.
Say that again. Containment in Spalding. That is a PNP strong area.
Strong, yes.
Yeah. So you need to contain them to what? To what margin?
I won't say no, Mr. Hughes.
Oh, everybody will tight them strategy.
I wanted to touch on the market, though. I don't have a minute to just clear up a little
30 seconds.
We're over time.
We're already over time.
Regarding the market, we toured, myself, Minister Mackenzie, representatives from the municipal corporation, to include the mayor. This was March 2022. The records are there. It was just before the end of financial year, March 31st deadline. And when we toured the market, remember now the market is under the jurisdiction of the parish council. The mayor was asked to submit a BQ. Up to March 31st, it was not submitted.
That's a bill of quantities.
Yeah, the bill of quantity, it was not submitted before March 31st, and we were specifically asked to make sure the submission is made before March 31st. So if it is that the mayor has submitted a bill of quantity, I am very positive it is after March 31st, 2022. And if we had submitted the BQ before March 31st, 2022, we would have had a refurbished market. But greater than that, it shouldn't have to come to me and my current government. The mayor has been councillor for 20-odd years. He has been mayor under previous PNP MPs. Both my 2 predecessors, Peter Bunting and John Jr., they were ministers of government, and their party was in power, and they never saw to the rehabilitation of the market.
All right, have to call time now, MP.
At this time is to focus on the cleanliness of the market and the proper operation of the market, clean his drains, do his debushing activities, fix up the signs and clean up Mandeville town. Garbage collection is a major issue there. Street lighting, those are all parish council issues. He needs to spend his time looking after the work that he was elected to do.
Rhoda Moy Crawford, Warren Newby, thank you so much for your time. Of course, there's a standing invitation from our producer to the People's National Party. They have so far not accepted those invitations. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you too. Have a good one.
All the best. Good. That's a cover story. The headlines are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
4 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Nora Gay Banton. Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahou Fort says the Opposition People's National Party, PNP, is not fit to lead the country on the constitutional reform journey. Making her contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday, the minister says the opposition's constant flip-flops on the matter render them incapable of fulfilling the decades-long pledge to transform Jamaica into a republic. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has gone on record pinning the current impasse between the government and opposition in transitioning Jamaica to a republic on the shoulders of opposition leader Mark Golding. On Tuesday, Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahou Fort brought to Parliament what she says is evidence of Golding contradicting himself at different times in recent years on the matter of Jamaica moving away from the monarchy.
Madam Speaker, we also believe strongly in the importance of providing greater access to the highest level of justice for the Jamaican people by moving from Her Majesty's Privy Council to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court of appeal. However, the consciousness of the other side is not there yet. So let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward. So let us begin with the things that we can agree on. Let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward.
When Jamaica is moving out of the King's Yard, we cannot have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the yard. We will not support a phased approach to dealing with the matter of full decolonization.
So let us begin with the things that we can agree on and move forward.
The minister says it's clear the opposition leader cannot be trusted to abide by his word.
Where we are now, Prime Minister, it's so important to remind everyone that when we decided on phasing the reform, it was done because it was our understanding that we couldn't agree on everything, but that it was important for us to make progress. And, Prime Minister, memories are sometimes short, and people don't know how you were pushed, even though you had the goal. You were prodded to get on with it, and you announced to the heir when he came here that we were moving on. You can't trust people who tell you that they want to do something and then they change their mind when the work gets hard.
Marlene Malahou Fort, Constitutional Affairs Minister. The government has officially commissioned the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Jamaica Eye Control Center. The state-of-the-art network, located at Olympic Gardens, Kingston, marks a significant step in the fight against crime and improved surveillance capabilities. Speaking at the official opening ceremony on Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the system will be equipped with 51 closed-circuit television CCTV cameras.
It provides evidence without having to rely on the human factor. Through the Olympic Way CCTV expansion project, we have installed 51 cameras across the corridor, from the Scotiabank at 3 miles all the way to this station, ensuring that virtually no blind spots exist.
Jamaica Eye is a network of CCTV cameras that monitor public spaces and assist the authorities in responding to incidents of crime, accident, or disaster. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness has announced a $2 million reward for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the brutal murder of 14-year-old Tyrone Thomas. The incident occurred on April 17 in West Central St. Andrew, the constituency represented by the Prime Minister.
That 14-year-old girl shot in her head, innocent. It could have been your daughter. Walk into the shop. But as I stand here today, we are going to find you. But I also want to announce that we're going to put up a $2 million reward fund for anyone giving information leading to the capture and arrest of those criminals who are responsible for the murder of that 14-year-old girl in this constituency.
Young Tyrone was shot and killed during a drive-by shooting while on her way to the shop. 2 others were injured in the attack. in the attack. Dr. Holness says he will be seeking additional funding from the Security Ministry to boost the reward. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay. Banton Sports is next.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Celebrate mom with the Jamaica Observer's 4 Moms Mother's Day promotion. Win big for mom with a $50,000 cash prize, appliances, gift certificates, movie passes, and more. Just spend $6,000 or more with your multi-link card. Grab the Daily Observer, complete the entry form, and submit it with your receipt. 4 lucky moms will win. Enter by May 16th and make this Mother's Day unforgettable. See the Jamaica Observer for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project Star. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Top Jamaican female sprinter Brianna Liston has made the decision to forego her remaining college eligibility at Louisiana State University to become a professional. Liston, who will be 21 years old in 18 days' time, made her intentions known in a letter to the LSU head coach Dennis Schaefer 3 days ago. Liston says the decision was a difficult one, but that after serious consideration and much reflection, she had a chat with her family before deciding that her time as a collegiate athlete had come. The former St. Jago High School and Heidel standout says she has come to accept that she will no longer be able to compete at the level required without being 100% mentally and physically. Liston has not ran outdoors this season after picking up an injury during her indoor campaign. Last year, she ran a lifetime best and school record 7.03 seconds to win the NCAA 60 meters indoor title. Liston joined LSU in 2022 after winning the 200 meters title at the World Under-20 Championships in Cali, Colombia. The Windward Islands Infernos reached 14 without loss against the Jamaica Titans at sports time in the West Indies Breakout T20 League at the Brian Lara Stadium. Alec Athenaeus 3 and Johan Jeremiah 8 are the not-out batters. Meanwhile, Barbados Pelicans beat Guyana Rainforest Rangers by 7 wickets. Batting first, the Rainforest Rangers made 153 for 6 after 20 overs. Kevlin Anderson led with 69 and Kentine Sampson 43. Kadeem Alain finished with 2 for 19. In response, the Pelicans made 156 for 3 inside 17 overs. Shakir Paris made an unbeaten 85, Alain 24, and Kevin Wickham 23. Meanwhile, I just mentioned that the Windward Islands Infernos, they are 14 without loss against the Jamaica Titans. The Gujarat Titans beat the Mumbai Indians and the Rain to snatch a remarkable final bowl victory and to go top of the Indian Premier League. A seesaw match looked to have gone the way of Mumbai when a second rain delay stopped Gujarat's chase. With another 24 runs needed from 12 balls, the visitors behind on the Duckworth-Lewis method. But the rain stopped and Gujarat's target was adjusted to 147, leaving them 15 to get from the final 6 balls as the match resumed moments before the cut-off time. Rahul Tuatia hit the ball, the first ball for 4, and 2 balls later Girard Gutiz slammed the 6th to leave 4 to get from 3 balls. Bowler Deepak Kahir then overstepped to give the Titans another run, only for Gutiz to be caught off the penultimate ball with the scores level. new batter Arshad Khan. He scrambled the one run needed from the last ball for the Titans, although Mumbai skipper Hardik Pandya still could have forced a super over, but missed with his throw from mid-on when the direct hit would have run out Arshad. The Titans won by 3 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. Scores again in the game: Mumbai 155 for 8, Gujarat 147 for 7. Italian champions Inter Milan beat Spanish giants FC Barcelona 4-3 in a bruising contest at the San Siro Stadium in Milan within the last hour and a half in the second leg of the European Champions League semi-finals. It was a game for the ages, possibly the greatest Champions League semi-final game ever. Milan took a 2-0 first-half lead, found themselves trailing 3-2, and needed a goal in added time from Francesco Acerbi to force extra time.
Good ball from Di Marco, Dumfries and Lautaro Martinez! The captain strikes, the captain is onside, and Inter take the lead in this second leg as they did the first. Here is Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Szczesny the wrong way, and Inter 2-0 up on the night, 5-3 up on aggregate. They'll lift it in, and on the volley Garcia, and Barcelona back in it. Martin lifting it again, header is on, and this one's in the back of the net. Rafinha again, it's gone in. Rafinha with his 13th goal in the Champions League, and it might just have sent Barcelona to the final. But Dumfries, first time, is that level? Francesco Acerbi, his first goal this season, draws Inter level.
David Fertesi then provided the magic in the 98th minute as the Nerazzurris held on to win 7-6 on aggregate and to book a place in the May 31 final at the Bayern Munich Stadium, the Allianz Arena in Munich.
Into Taremi, laid up for Fratesi, Fratesi into the corner! Inter lead again! Now in extra time! Scored a huge goal in the quarterfinal! Fratesi off the bench! 7-6 to Inter!
Now, cue tomorrow. I have to go and do my business. Arsenal. We're heading over to the Parc des Princes in Paris. We trail 1-0 against PSG, the French champions. That should be another bruising contest. Let's hope tomorrow I'm smiling. And Inter Miami, they have relinquished their option to hold talks with the departing Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, leaving Chicago Fire in pole position to sign him should he decide to move to the MLS. Miami had the 33-year-old on their discovery list, meaning they were the only MLS team to be able to negotiate with him in the United States. They had until mid-July to decide whether to hold talks, but they'll not pursue his signing, meaning that De Bruyne will not link up with Leo Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets and the group. Chicago now have the first option to speak to De Bruyne, who announced in April he would be leaving City when his contract deal expires at the end of the season. President of the Jamaica Paralympic Association, Chris Samida, says Alison Francis' victory in the recent Australian general elections sent a signal message to the global citizenry that para-athletes and persons with disabilities can rise to the greatest heights and triumph in any endeavor and be recognized as a superior choice for leadership. France, who represented Australia in para-canoeing, winning 2-team gold and the silver at the Outrigger Canoe World Sprint Championships in 2016, defeated then leader of the opposition, Liberal Party leader Peter Dutton, for the Queensland division of Dixon. Samira says her achievement is a visionary event in political history, a life-changing experience in civic life, and a crowning moment for sport, which is not only a unifier but an equalizer. France knows too well, he said, that defeat builds character, and this was a third attempt to be unseated. But then history teaches us that timing is everything, that history makers have created in time and legacies are timeless. National coach Wendy Lee believes artistic swimming is on the rise in Jamaica following Jam Unity's performance at the recent USA Worldwide Invitational in Florida. Jam United, which included 27 swimmers from 4 local clubs, came away from the competition with a number of medals. 2 of the swimmers were honored with Best Figures titles. Jam United Intermediate Team Routine stole the spotlight, earning the High Point Trophy for the entire meet. Lee, who is also the head coach of Tornadoes, was beaming with pride.
I am so proud that we are able to come home and tell Jamaica that we have delivered 24 gold, 12 silver, and 6 bronze in a very intense competition, competing against 200 athletes from 12 different countries, both from North and South America. Everyone bringing their own flavor, everyone bringing their own intensity, and we, as we said, 24 times came out on top.
And she says the unity of the team was a massive factor.
Our girls really worked hard from last October to come together. We are from 4 different teams and we had to work together to make one united team, to practice routines. We had 5 coaches working along with the athletes. It was work to the very end and our athletes performed so exceptional. We're so proud of what Jamaica Artistic Swimming is able to achieve, not only because of the hard work of our athletes, but also because of the dedication of our swimmers and the support of our parents.
And she says going forward, they plan to build on the achievement.
I would like for Jamaica to keep watching us because we are going to deliver more. We're sending a team to Colombia in 2 weeks. The first time we're putting a national team back to compete at the even higher level. So right now we are working very hard. We're very proud, and artistic swimming for sure is on the rise in Jamaica today.
That's swimming coach Wendy Lee. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes.
Watch out.
Protect yourself.
How are this
For
on
more my TV?
information,
Visit broadcastingcommission.org.
Here ya, baby.
QR code on screen.
Deepfake. No deepfake can't catch me.
Junior, you know say AI can make something will look and sound just like you? One day Junior get a voice note from her granny. Say the food done, the medication done, and she need money urgently.
Need money urgently? But Miss Pat no like ask people for things.
And as so comes, Judy get suspicious.
So what she do?
She asks the neighbor to go check pan her. Junior, the lady quite alright over there make her Sunday dinner.
So the voice note a deepfake?
Yes, my love. Come, your food ready.
Right now it look like we have to outsmart the AI. But wait, I really want dege dumpling here, give me.
Me I wonder if AI can make one deep fake dumpling for you.
To learn more about deepfakes, visit www.broadcastingcommission.org.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project Star. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Married life is a serious thing. Boy, careful how you put on the wedding ring.
For better or worse, in sickness or health, richer or poorer. But who generally wins in this equation? Or when the maths now add up? So many men avoid marriage, or those within complain of the constant worry that they can lose everything in the end. How reasonable are these thoughts though? Is it fair to use history and judge the likely outcome? If Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can lose a lot, what about the average Joe? Join me, Rodney Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, is marriage just a legal contract that benefits women and children? What happened to the man them?
Husband and wife, pain and problem in them life. It's in them life, in them life.
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. Healthy people, healthy environment. Viewers, here's to the story.
ICMS Limited. Yes, we can bring in the money.
And Durex, distributed by Massey Distribution Limited, Jamaica.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special good evening to our YouTubers. Thank you so much for tuning in. We invite you to weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. And this is for all of the adults that read, yeah, when they were growing up, they read books. All right. So it's a Read Across Jamaica Day. It's a national initiative to promote literacy and reading habits among students. It's a day dedicated to fostering a love for reading and really encouraging our children to read, yeah? And to cultivate a habit of learning, a lifelong learning. So the theme for this year, safeguarding the future of education, adapting to the changing landscape. But for the purposes of this public opinion, we want you, the people, the adults out there, to tell us, what's your favorite childhood story book? Yeah? We know that usually on Read Across Jamaica Day, we, the adults, would go into the schools and we would read. We would go into the classrooms and we would read for the children. And I really, really love to see it. I've never participated, but, I go to my daughter's school every day. And yes, so it's a Read Across Jamaica Day. And we want for you, the people, the adults, to tell us, what's your favorite childhood story book? Earlier, I was looking at some, and these are the regular ones that it's not necessarily my favorite books, but it brought me back. The question brought me back to these books. And I know that some of you may have read them in primary school, maybe even in high school. I don't know. The Catwoman and the Spinning Wheel, Sweet, Sweet Mango Tree. Oh, and this one, Zachariah Dumpling Head. He ate the dumpling and it stuck in his teeth. Yeah, man. I was reminiscing and recalling those books before I came on air. So I'm going to go to the comments on our Instagram platform. What's your favorite childhood story book? Tana Thomas is saying Pocahontas. Yeah? Pocahontas was her favorite childhood story book. Tiffy Mitchell, The Hunger Games. And then him said, no, wait, Harry Potter. So The Hunger Games and Harry Potter. You can have two favorites, yeah, The Hunger Games and Harry Potter. So it looked like Nationwide employees full up the chat because we had Tana, then we saw William. Now Dana is saying The Care Bears Big Wish. Also Matilda, Danny Champion of the World. Okay, wow. By Roald Dahl. That's how you pronounce that, Dana. Wow. I never heard of these books before. The Care Bears Big Wish and Matilda, as well as Danny Champion of the World. Those are Dana's favorite childhood story books. Miggletour is saying Robin Hood and his Merry Men. That was the favorite. Willie Ryan Wilson says A Cow Called Boy. I think I remember that one. I see Books shaking his head. I say, yeah. A Cow Called Boy. Yeah, those are the favorites. All right, let me see what's happening on our Facebook platform. To the question, what's your favorite childhood story book? Let me see if I can get the comments on our Facebook platform, all 15 of them. Vincent Smith says Nola on the Farm. Yeah. Philip Jackson, Frisky and the Donkey. Bob and Nola, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Yeah, all right. Becca Grant says storybooks, Bible stories and poems. And she's saying that they need to be reintroduced into primary and basic school. Cheryl Griffith says Jack and the Beanstalk. And as I got older, Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I told somebody that I have never read a Nancy Drew or Hardy Boys book, and I think apparently have you read books? A Nancy Drew and a Hardy? I haven't. Yeah. Not my time. Grace Williams Bailey says my books were Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, Jack and the Beanstalk, and so much more. Vivian Hanchard says it's too many to mention. Manayard Baker says the cow jumped over the moon and the dish ran away with the spoon. Winky Blinky and Nod Sail Off in Wooden Spoon. Okay, wow. All right. Yvonne is saying so many. A Boy Named Cow, A Year in San Fernando. Mill and Boone. Yeah, never yet hear that one. Yeah, Mill and Boone. Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys. And she says she could go on and on and on. Edney Powell, Young Warriors. Young Warriors I read in high school. Young Warriors, Spratt Morrison and Tom Sawyers. Raymond says, Bible story. Pam and Roy. I am Pam. I am Roy. I think I recall that one, Yeah. Georgia Bridson says, My Book House. For Sean Major Campbell, he is saying he was absolutely awed by Alice in Wonderland, which he duly read a number of times, yeah? A reminder of the wonderful world of reading. Now I realize that as with Alice's experience, life is indeed about creative thinking and imagination with the ever-present necessity of questioning the logic that abounds. That's a very wonderful way to put it, Sean Major Campbell. Shanti Morrison says Hansel and Gretel. Yeah? What's your favorite childhood story book? Is it Zachariah Dumpling Head? Let me see if I can see what's happening on our YouTube. Robert McKenzie says Mutt and Jeff. Never yet hear that one. Nola on the Farm says Bev Thompson. You guys feeling nostalgic as I am? Let me see. First Aid in English says Wilbert Davis. I think I recall that one. Bragg Robinson says, my book was A Cow Called Boy and Escape to Last Man Peak. Bragg, I remember Escape to Last Man Peak. I read that one in high school. The Hedgehog and the Hare, says Ken Youth Mullings. For Cindy Lynch, it was Miss Meg and the Lizard. Like sometimes we can literally go back. I think we can find these books on Google. If we don't have the hard copy, we can literally find these books on Google. And we can literally just sit and think about those days when before, your childhood. Think on these things. Bev Thompson says Nola on the Farm. Lady Smiley says Catwoman. Yeah, Catwoman. Let me see. Willow, I am a boy, and that was not a lie. Willow. Okay. Tales of Greek Heroes, says Courtney Tomlinson. Beverly Samuda also saying Alice in Wonderland. Killian Henry, I am a boy. For Devon Rumble, it's Hardy Boys. And I've heard the stories of people who sit down in a corner, long I read Hardy Boys. Nancy Drew as well. Yeah. The name of Leroy is saying the name of mine can't be mentioned. Wow, would you look at that? Childhood books, Leroy? All right, let me see if I can get in a few more. Patrick Samuel says Animal Farm and A Cow Called Boy. A Cow Called Boy is seemingly a staple now in everybody. Animal Farm? All right, books. Animal Farm, a good book. Books, you gave me yours before. I was Shane. I've never heard of Shane, but books seem to be, it seems to be Boog's favorite book. One of, yeah. Jack and Jill, says Shirley. All right. Gertrude Hubbard, a good boy. Yeah. Let me see if I can get Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Pigs, they huff and they puff and they blow your house down. Something of that sort. Right, Sandra? Something like that. Silver Sword. Cheryl Hamilton is saying Silver Sword. I also read Silver Sword in high school. Carlene, Animal Farm. Gulliver's Travel. Ronald, is that it? For the Love of Freedom and Catwoman and the Spinning Wheel. Also Frederick and Catherine. That's coming from Mr. Peart. Jacqueline, I see you, saying I am a girl. Yeah. All right. A lot of books coming in. The Greedy Dog. Yeah. Let me see. I was looking online. Anansi and Co. Yeah, Anansi and Co. Sweet Mango Tree with Ben we never like work. So Ben go sing to the mango tree because him see the man a sing to the mango tree and he go sing to the mango tree and get things and then him get money. Yeah, I remember all of those. Catwoman that hid her skin under the bed. Yeah, feeling very nostalgic. It's Read Across Jamaica Day, people. It's not too late to take up a book. Yeah, if you have little children in your home or so, take up one of those old books, one of those books that you used to read when you were a child, and read it to your child. Humpty Dumpty, yeah. Matty Duppy. Wow, Superintendent said Matty Duppy. Old Mass Charlie. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things coming up. Refreshing your memory. Tales of Green Gables and Nancy Drew, says Lomi. A lot of books. So, yeah, read to somebody today. The day not done. Yeah, it's Read Across Jamaica Day, and we're enforcing the love for books. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:34. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. The UK and India have agreed a trade deal that will make it easier for UK firms to export whiskey, cars, and other products to India and cut taxes on India's clothing and footwear exports. The British government said that the landmark agreement, which took 3 years to reach, did not include any change in immigration policy, including towards Indian students studying in the UK. Now, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said the deal would boost the economy and deliver for British people and business. In the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 159 Jamaican dollars and 72 cents to buy $1, 212 Jamaican dollars and 22 cents to buy £1 British, and 115 Jamaican dollars and 45 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Yes, me get the last cheese. Taste the beat. Brothers and sisters, at the end of Easter service, we have cheese. Taste the beat. But one day we're getting a bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Serve, sell me some bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Why, this looking nice with some tasty cheese. Taste the beat. Could I have some cheese, please? Taste the beat. Make we get on real bad with the tasty cheese, boy. Tasty beats with tasty cheese.
Mom, how are you managing?
I miss your father, but I have peace of mind knowing he had creditor protection.
What's that?
It's a very good plan from Scotiabank. It pays off our mortgage, auto loans, even his credit card bills so we don't inherit his debt.
Dad really loved us.
Yes, he did.
Don't leave your loved ones alone. Get creditor protection from Scotiabank. Visit us at jm.scotiabank.com today.
Plug into the sun with Peak Energy Solutions. We are your affordable provider for everything solar. Grid tie or off-grid solar P systems, solar air conditioners, panels, lithium batteries, solar supplies, and installation. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hills, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Get ready for a heartwarming and inspiring celebration as E-Zone honors the dedicated heroes of education on Teachers' Day with a special live outside broadcast from Lorna Auto Prep School. Join us on Wednesday, May 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. as we recognize and celebrate the teachers who shape minds, build futures, and inspire greatness every single day. So don't miss it. Celebrate Teachers' Day with the E-Zone and Lorna Auto Prep School on May 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. Catch the live stream on Nationwide 90 FM's YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Chris and Charles, JTA Cooperative Credit Union, Imperial Optical, Garden Group's Shine 5K Run Walk, and Kingston Bookshop.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton, weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Married life is a serious thing. Boy, careful how you put on the wedding ring.
For better or worse, in sickness or health, richer or poorer. But who generally wins in this equation? Or when the maths now add up? So many men avoid marriage, or those within complain of the constant worry that they can lose everything in the end. How reasonable are these thoughts though? Is it fair to use history and judge the likely outcome? If Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can lose a lot, what about the average Joe? Join me, Rodman Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, is marriage just a legal contract that benefits women and children? What happened to the man them?
Husband and wife, pain and problem in a them life. It's in a them life, in a them life.
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. Healthy people, healthy environment. Viewers, here's to the story.
ICMS Limited. Yes, we can bring in the money.
And Durex, distributed by Massey Distribution Limited, Jamaica.
Good evening, good evening. 19 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. We are inside the nation's business, where we're learning this evening that the regional university, the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, is set to open a new school. It's a school of health and rehabilitation sciences. It's planning to do so during this academic year, 2025-26. UWI says the aim of this school is to meet the growing national demand for specialized healthcare professionals to provide services in rehabilitation for children and adults. It says the school is taking the step to train professionals who can provide much-needed services for children and adolescents with developmental disabilities. These include cerebral palsy and autism. The new school will also seek to train professionals to provide care for persons in need of rehabilitative services for disabilities resulting from traumatic injuries and non-communicable lifestyle diseases, particularly cardiovascular diseases. And of course, these would include heart attacks and strokes. UWI says the Faculty of Medical Sciences has long recognized the critical shortage of trained professionals in areas like speech and occupational therapy and radiological sciences. It says the faculty is moving decisively to close these gaps and prepare a new generation of healthcare workers equipped to manage a wide range of special needs. Joining us to tell us more about this new school coming for UWI, we have the principal of the Mona campus of the university, Professor Denzel Williams, and Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences at the university, Dr. Roxanne Melbourne Chambers. Good evening, Professor Williams, Dr. Chambers. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Cliff. Good evening to your listeners as well. Good evening, Dr. Chambers. And Cliff, I'm not sure who is with you. This is Ricardo?
Yes, it's Ricardo, but he's not here
Ricardo.
just now.
Okay, good.
All right. So let me begin with you, the Professor Williams, the principal. Yeah. How long has this been in the making?
Okay, let me firstly say we want to celebrate and congratulate our Faculty of Medical Sciences for the foresight to really bring the school to fruition, and especially our Dean, Professor Minerva Thame, and her entire team, including Dr. Melbourne, Chambers, and others. This is a concept that has been brewing for a little while now. They have been looking at the healthcare landscape and recognize the shortage of skills in very critical areas of need. And so what the faculty has done is to say, listen, we have to provide an institutional response to major issues in terms of specialized care in the healthcare, specialized trained people in the healthcare sector. And so they have put together this institutional intervention under the name of a new school of health and rehabilitative sciences. And then we hope to launch this school by our new academic year, 2025-2026. As you have correctly identified, there are a number of critical areas that the school will deal with. And my colleague, Dr. Chambers, will be able to speak more specifically to the technical areas of the school. But just suffice to say that this is a development at UWI that we are actually responding to both national and regional need in the healthcare sector. And I think this is a welcome development for Jamaica.
Sure. Hold the line for us, Professor Williams, Dr. Chambers. We're up on a break. Stay with us.
This time signal is sponsored by Janet Global Accreditation, an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The time is now
15 minutes to 7. We're back with you, Principal at UWI Mona, Professor Denzel Williams, and Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences, Dr. Roxanne Melbourne Chambers. So, Dr. Chambers, if you could get into the nitty-gritty of the new healthcare professionals that this school will be producing. Yes? Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Hughes.
You're
so,
welcome.
as a bit of a background, the school will incorporate at this time 4 programs. There are 2 programs that have existed since, I think, 1965. That's medical radiation technology and physiotherapy, which offers a bachelor's and a master program. And that program has been in existence since 1972. However, in the last 10 years, and Principal is right, we've been working at some of this for a long time. We recognize that there's a need to respond to rehabilitative services that are required not only in Jamaica but in the Caribbean. And so we first developed a Master of Speech and Language Pathology program, which actually began as a diploma last academic year and will intake its first students for the master's program this coming academic year. And then right on the heels of that, within the last 2 years, in a response to a call from our own occupational therapists within Jamaica, they asked us to move ahead to develop a Master of Occupational Therapy program. So these 2 programs will train professionals in addition to physical therapists to respond to those persons requiring rehabilitative services within the community. And this is especially important because for those 2 last programs, we have fewer than 10 speech therapists within the island, where it's estimated that 12 to 20% of our population is in need of these services. And similarly, we have 10 occupational therapists, but probably only 1 working in the public system and only 5 Jamaican nationals. And I say that to say that the others may, for other reasons, have to, return to their home countries. And so these 2 sectors, appeal to us, and we have responded by creating these programs.
Dr. Chambers,
Which will intake,
just let me interrupt you for a moment because I want to make sure we connect with our listeners. For
Yes.
example, the speech therapists.
Yes.
Yes. Those are people who would be called upon in the event of someone having a stroke or a heart attack and have lost
Right.
speech.
Yep.
Please explain. Mhm.
Yes, okay. So, Mr. Hughes, the whole lifespan, because there are children who are particularly persons with hearing deficits,
Mhm.
will require speech therapy.
Oh, yes.
The whole range of children with developmental disabilities, ranging from simple language delay
Uh-huh.
to conditions such as autism spectrum disorder,
Mhm.
as well as cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And then, as you have spoken about, other persons who have suffered brain injuries for some reason. So those include persons who have suffered strokes, heart attacks, traumatic brain injuries, will require the need of a speech therapist, not only to assist with communication, but even swallowing. Okay, so there's a great...
As basic
yes,
as that.
as
Yes.
basic as that.
But I want to add a point to Dr. Chambers as she continues on that important point, Cliff and listeners, because what we're seeing and what Dr. Chambers and the others will tell you from the medical sciences, since COVID, we are seeing where a number of students, a number of children are actually now on the spectrum. Before COVID, what we would have seen, what the pediatricians are saying, they would have seen maybe 1 in 300 children on the spectrum. Now you're seeing 1 in 80. So you're getting more kids on the spectrum. Come September of this year, it is being reported that there's about 11,000 children who will be leaving preschool, going to primary school, who are now on the spectrum. And you're going to need this kind of skill set that Dr. Chambers is talking about to assist those children if we're going to overcome a lot of learning disorders.
Hold on,
like that.
Professor Williams. That is stunning.
Yeah, good evening,
That-
Professor Williams. Ricardo Brooks here, and I was wondering...
Hi, Ricardo. Yes.
What's fueling that?
First of all, no, before we go up to what he said, he alluded to COVID. But that jump from 1 in 300 to 1 in 80?
Yes,
That's
what
a
the
massive
pediatricians
jump.
That's what the pediatricians are reporting, and Dr. Chambers can tell you the technical things behind it. But a lot of it has to do with while the kids were during the COVID period, there was nobody talking to the kids, interacting with the kids, etc. So they were just there by themselves. So they can go on their tablet, they can scroll, they can do all the things, but they're not speaking.
Right, that's
And
what I
Dr.
meant.
Chambers,
About
you can.
COVID, okay.
Yes, so Dr.
Right.
Chambers, you can tell the technical things behind it, but that's what the research is showing.
Right. Yeah. So much of this is, some of it may be a real increase in incidence, although some of it is recognition. And we know that autism, or what we know of autism, is that it is a disorder that seems to have many contributing factors. So certainly genetics, but also environmental, which would include things like lack of stimulation. And so probably what we're seeing out of COVID is that time when children were home, and I mean babies became accustomed or unaccustomed to seeing people's faces and mouths. So a lot of us were wearing masks at that time, as well as being home. A lot of children spent more time than usual and too much time in front of screens. And so lacking that one-on-one human interaction.
Yes.
So, yes, we are seeing more cases of autism. And, yes, will really respond to that need, as Principal has spoken about, especially this new academic year.
There's an issue I want to raise with you, especially the Principal, Professor Williams. Yesterday we heard in one of our segments the Vice Chancellor, Sir Hilary Beckles, making the point that we here in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, we are graduating out of the high school system to universities. Only 15% of the cohorts, 15%, which he said was low, Yes?
Yes.
And I'm thinking of all these new health professionals. Are you going to have the demand for these places you are going to be creating in these specialist areas?
I have no doubt that we will actually have the demand, but you would also appreciate that there's a law in economics that supply creates demand as well. And so what happens is that these areas have not been on the market for a long time, and now that we're putting them on the market, we will have people who are going to apply to these areas so that we can actually improve the skill set of these people, so that we can actually better train people who are going to actually train persons or help persons who have these disorders so that they can actually transition to the tertiary sector as well. Because once we make that correction at the primary, pre-primary level, then we will have possibly much higher outcomes that can matriculate into the tertiary sector. So that 15% that Vice Chancellor Becker spoke about should be able to be increased over the medium term.
Mm-hmm. And these are positions, you did say, Dr. Chambers, master's, bachelor's degrees. You're going up to the terminal degree level, the PhD?
I think in time, but these two newer programs will be at the master level, and it will really need to fill the demand, which, remember I said that there are fewer than 10 persons. So over time, we're looking at training persons, not just even for the community, but also even to contribute to the further development of the programs.
But Professor Williams, this is something you would love to get other countries in the world to come and supply your students and to increase the bottom line at your university. Professor?
Well, that's the aim. While the program is domestic now, the aim is to globalize it.
Yes,
that's the aim. Because this problem that you're seeing now, and which Dr. Chambers so eloquently described, is not unique to Jamaica.
Right.
It's really worldwide. And as you would know, that there is a huge shortage in the global sphere for healthcare workers, especially specialized healthcare workers. And this program is one of the few that will be filling that gap. So we can globalize the program and expect it to grow.
So what kind of support are you going to be getting from the states of the Caribbean, the governments of the Caribbean? Last night, Professor Hilary Beckles was lamenting that, financing tertiary education by governments is increasingly a problem.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the other states of the Caribbean, having recognized the problem in their jurisdiction, will be sending persons to this program and fund these people to build capacity within their jurisdiction. This will be a fully self-funded program, so you expect that the governments will pay for the people who are going to come and who are going to be a part of this program to help to build capacity in their jurisdiction as well, because there are not many programs like this across the Caribbean. This is really unique.
Yeah.
Right. So, Principal, this would be the first. The occupational therapy program would be the first for the Caribbean region.
Absolutely.
And the speech and language pathology, the second of its kind.
Yeah.
And occupational therapy, what is that? We use this term and we assume that people know. What is that?
Right. So the specialist would like me to say that it is not physical therapy, and physical therapy would they would like me to say that they are not the same. So whereas, but just for understanding, whereas physical therapy is concerned about movement, physical movement, and so if you think about someone, say, who has suffered a stroke, then yes, that physical therapist is going to be important as that person recovers and receives therapy to, increase the function in terms of walking, and that sort of thing. But the occupational therapist focus on therapies which are targeted now, specifically targeted to activities of daily living. So they're very important, say, in fine motor movement, movement of the hands, use of the hands, and so on. And so there's that distinction between the two. Just want to say, Mr. Hughes, and your colleague, that occupational therapy, there has been such an interest, because you can think of even our security forces, police or soldiers who may have been injured in their line of duty. Then you can see that it's very important, not just to be able to, to walk, etc., but even, those adaptive skills, use of the hands, etc.
I get it.
Occupational therapy is used even in children, say with autism, to help to reduce some of those or their response to their sensory issues, to better help them, say to hold a pencil, to write, that sort of thing. Right. And even has application for mental health in terms of helping those persons with psychiatric disorders be offered rehabilitation services that help them to come back to maximize their activities of daily living. So you can see something like just buttoning a shirt, or one of our occupational therapists gave us an example of just such an achievement for a man having had occupational therapy to be able to place the wedding band on his bride. Think about something like that.
Yes. Well, Professor Williams, we'll have to bring you back, because today I was attending a Reading Across Jamaica function, and the Prime Minister put on the table that this business of artificial intelligence, that the country will have to get very serious about this, and very quickly. Yeah, and I'm sure UA is already looking at that, preparing courses, programs of study for artificial intelligence and its application?
Absolutely. We have an AI institute that was actually approved at Council last week, Friday, so we can speak more about that.
Oh, okay. We'll have to bring you back to talk about that. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for having us, please.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Chambers. Thank you very much.
All the best, Principal.
Professor Denzel Williams, Principal at the UWI Mona campus, and Dr. Roxanne Melbourne Chambers. She's Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences.
We take the break, and after the break, it will be time for Nature's Remedies. You did good work, man.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Our Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything your job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slive Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project Star. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Married life is a serious thing. Boy, careful how you put on the wedding ring.
For better or worse, in sickness or health, richer or poorer. But who generally wins in this equation? Or when the maths now add up? So many men avoid marriage, or those within complain of the constant worry that they can lose everything in the end. How reasonable are these thoughts, though? Is it fair to use history and judge the likely outcome? If Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can lose a lot, what about the average Joe? Join me, Rodman Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, is marriage just a legal contract that benefits women and children? What happened to the man them?
Husband and wife, pain and problem in them life. It's in them life, in them life.
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by SuperMed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, SuperMed. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. Healthy people, healthy environment. Viewers, here's to the story.
ICMS Limited. Yes, we can bring in the money.
And Durex, distributed by Massey Distribution Limited, Jamaica.
Good God of mercy, hey. Good God of grace, hey. Lord of mercy, hey.
It's 4 minutes after 7 and it's time for Nature's Remedies. That's a program to educate you about the uses of natural herbs. Tonight we'll be talking about pimento. Yeah, pimento. That's a pimento you crush it, you put in the seasoning.
You put it in just about anything.
Yeah. As
your
usual.
Drink, your
That's a
food,
sorrel.
your sorrel. Yeah, pimento is everything.
We'll be opening the line so you can call in with any questions you may have for our resident pharmacognosist. You know her well, our friend, Dr. Denise Daly. Good evening, Doc.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ricardo. Good evening, Cliff. Good evening, listeners.
How are you, Doc?
Long time.
Long time.
You
I
go
missed you guys. I missed everyone.
You go firing?
No, she got to take care of somebody last week.
Huh?
In little people business. Dr. Daly, pimento.
Yeah. Pimento. I love the examples you gave because those are real and true examples that we use pimento for in Jamaica and in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It is actually endemic or it's native to Jamaica, other Caribbean countries, Central America, and Mexico. So that's where we find a lot of the pimento and pimento dioica, specifically pimento berries. And out of all the regions, guess where has the best and highest quality pimento?
Jamaica,
or
Really?
Little Rock. Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a pimento tree, though.
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen one. I'm trying to think about it.
You have seen it, man, but you don't know that it is.
Yeah. It bears normally in the summer, so maybe that's why. And the berries look green, and we actually usually pick them mature when they're green, and then when you put them to dry, that's when they have usual dark brown, black color. So that's the pimento. Jamaica is also the highest exporter of pimento worldwide. So
really?
Yes,
I
we
didn't
are.
know that. Okay.
So we have that under our belts for a number of years. Nobody has surpassed us so far. But I stand corrected if the data is different. No, again, right? So that's pimento. So we'll be talking about pimento dioica. That's the regular allspice. We also call it pimenta in some places, or Europeans or in the eastern side of the world. They also call it Jamaican pepper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a funny story how he got his name. It's all up. We got that name based on Columbus traveling to this side of the world, the western side of the world. And the berries resembled the peppercorn that they're used to. And it still had those spices, the spiciness somewhat. And therefore it got its name, Jamaican pepper or Jamaican peppercorn. So those are other names that it's known by worldwide.
Two questions, Doc. You said that our pimento is the most potent. Why is that? Is that a soil thing, a temperature thing? Why is that?
Like most of our medicinal plants that are found elsewhere in the world, yes. It's all the geographical features, the air, the sun, the sea, everything about the rock, about the island Jamaica that enhances the growth of the plant and therefore the phytochemical, the constituents in it. So we have a great blend to get medicinal plants. And that's why we have at least 50% of the medicinal plants identified worldwide, Jamaica has at least 50% of those, and many are endemic to us.
So you talked about the berries being green, and then obviously we dry it so you get that brownish, blackish color. The green, so as it is when it's green, can it be used?
It can be used, but you don't have as much flavor. And that's why we dry it. We get the flavor, higher medicinal quality and higher flavor when you dry it. So you remove the water and you get more medicinal value, similar to some of your medicinal leaves that we would use.
All right. So Dana has been teasing me because I'm not the best rice and peas cook, right? So I've been trying to master that doc.
Yeah.
And them tell me to put pimento in there. And my mother said me dash with the pimento in there. So I had to take my time and take them out. Too much. Me put too much in there. So what is it good for? Because now I can go back to her and say, you see, we should have left the pimento in there. What is it good for?
You know, it's a really potent plant. So you really need a small amount to make it flavorful, right? So we put it in so many meals. So it depends on the size of your pot. You could lose 2 to 3 berries, well, not 2, you know, normally like 4 to 6 or a teaspoon or half a teaspoon. Its medicinal value, again, based on the name, allspice, it has different flavors that it brings. A little bit of clove, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of the peppercorn. And because of that, it brings all these flavors to the food. So we add it to savory food, like our rice and peas or meats, and we add it to juices and sauces. What is it doing medicinally?
Yeah.
Active component in pimento that we see is eugenol. Eugenol is one of the highest components within the plant. And it has been highly researched. It's an analgesic. That means very good for pain. It's also very good with digestive issues. It stimulates the digestive enzymes. It helps if you have upset stomach, indigestion, and so many other ailments that come with pain. But not only with pain, inflammation as well. It's very good as an anti-inflammatory aid. It's good as anti-proliferative. So research was done showing the benefits of pimento. This was done on the berries. They did an extract of the berries. And with that, it was able to get rid of cancer cells by just having the extract of the plant.
Do we have to crush it, or the whole berry as it is fine? Because I noticed some people crush it.
No, the entire berry is fine. Once you add it to whichever meal you're preparing, the flavor is extracted from it. So you could drop it in some water, the flavor is extracted. For me, sometimes I crush it depending on the dish. If I'm making rice and peas, I'll just drop a few in there. I can skim it out when I'm ready. When I'm seasoning meats or vegetables, I'll crush it so it gets to marinate in the meat. And, you just stick it and push the flavors in. So I do that sometimes.
But you shouldn't really eat the berry.
The berries can be eaten, especially if you crush it and powder it. But if you eat too much, it kind of has that strong, bitter eugenol flavor.
And the pimento itself, what you use for seasoning, I take it out when I'm done with my seasoning. Take it out when I eat it.
Once it's the whole pimento, I take it out.
Yeah.
You always know when you bite one.
Exactly.
Characteristic taste.
All right, so we have questions for you, Doc, before you move on. Punch So Blessed on YouTube is asking if the berry can be used for PCOS.
Yes, that's one of the things we'll talk about too. It can be used for PCOS because the berries and the leaf is also had as a tea to help with menstrual cramps. So it helps to loosen the blood flow. It helps with the muscle walls to allow it to not be as tight and tense, but relaxes the muscle. So and it's an analgesic. So that pain factor that accompanies PCOS as well, it also helps. So I'll oftentimes add pimento to any herbal blend that I recommend because it adds flavor, but it also has significant medicinal value as well.
Sorry, just so I'm clear, Doc, what muscle does it loosen?
Every muscle. So that's why it's good for pain. So it helps with muscles. So in terms of PCOS, we're looking at the uterine walls. So it helps to relax the uterine walls.
Okay.
That's the woman uterus, etc. Womb.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right, 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're talking about the pimento. Yeah, Jamaica, the world's leading exporter of pimento. And we have the most potent pimento found anywhere on earth, according to our pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly.
Yeah. Donovan says pimento and rum is good, Doc. Well, I guess he's asking if it's soaked for pimento and rum soak good for pain and colds.
That is true. So pimento soaked in rum, it's two ways you can have it. With that, externally, let's look at it externally. We have one of those, we call it the rum sap or something like that. I don't remember the name, but it's basically an infusion where we have the pimento, we soak it with rum. Sometimes we'll have Guinean root. You'll add some marijuana or some ganja to it as well. And that is a potent pain rub. So it massages the muscle. You use it to sap the muscle. Sometimes you'll soak a cloth or other leaves or herbs and you wrap the spots if you have arthritis, etc. So it's very good for pain externally. And internally, you can use pimento to make a wine. So pimento wine is a thing, or when soaked in rum, it's also a liquor. So you can get that flavorful rum. That's good for cold, good for pain as well. You know, you just take a shot, so to speak, like a tablespoon or two, and that can help with pain as well.
Someone on YouTube is explaining how to prepare the pimento for all these purposes. You have to pick it fit and green, and then you put it on zinc to dry in the sun. Is that correct, Doc?
That is correct. You want it to dry as naturally as possible, called solar drying. And the zinc helps because it's similar to back in the day when we usually bathe in the zinc pan. The sunlight just activates the water in the zinc. And with the sunlight and the zinc, it helps to dry the plants or the berries as naturally as possible. But it also enhances the pulling out the flavor of it. I don't know, there's something about zinc. Similar to how cooking in iron, or cast iron or your duchy enhances the flavor of your food and gives you iron as well. Though that's one of the benefits of zinc and drying it on the zinc.
We're up on the break. Let's take the break and then come back with more, because I see somebody saying they use it for hair growth oil. Doc, we can talk about that after the break.
Talk about that.
Cliff Says is by far the most popular mid-morning radio segment in Jamaica. Cliff Hughes shares his views on the hot-button topics of the day, editorializing on various issues in the news, breaking news stories, and expounding on stories. Cliff Says sets the tone of the show for the rest of the day. Join the award-winning journalist Cliff Hughes weekdays during Cliff Hughes Online at 10 to 10:30 a.m. Join the revolution in media.
Cliff Says is brought to you by Educom Credit Union, providing value through service, and Hyundai, modern premium affordable vehicles.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Good God have mercy, hey. Good God have grace, hey. Lord have mercy, hey. Spirulina build up me confidence. Rastafari run the continent. This King Selassie, you pay the consequence. Don't get it confused.
It's 18 minutes after 7. You're tuned in to Nature's Remedies right here on Nationwide at 5. The station is Nationwide 90 FM. We're talking pimento with our resident pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly. So yes, Doc, you were telling us about hair growth.
Yes, pimento is good to add to either your wash day. So you have pimento water, and you can have it to do a pre-treatment by adding it to the hair with whichever pre-treatment you use. If it's the aloe vera blend up with egg yolk or with okra or any banana, there's so many things we use as a pre-treatment. You can add pimento water to that to moisten the hair, so it allows the other natural compounds to attract to the hair. It also strengthens the hair. And this is just talking about the hair and the scalp. It's antibacterial and antifungal. So it helps with dandruff and dry scalp and ridding the hair of any microbe that may be in it. So those are some of the benefits for hair and hair growth. So it's very good to add it to the pre-wash. You can add it to an oil soak. For example, you get some coconut oil or some olive oil. Soak the pimento seeds in it, and you can add that as a part of your hair routine. Make your own hair oil. And that's part of, what we'll promote with the workshops and so on. How you can use what you have in your kitchen, in your backyard, your herbs, to make products that can help your skin. Pimento is one. Great for the skin. So it's found in soaps and creams and oils. And it's good with the hair and hair strength.
And they have pimento oil as well?
Yes, you can have pimento oil that's extracts from the berries. Those are normally sold in smaller containers, and you can use those in perfumery. Used to make perfume, used to make other cosmetic products. If you have a foot soak that you want to do because of its antifungal properties, whether it's athlete's foot, anything that is a dermatophyte, skin ailments, can add pimento oil to the foot soak. Soak your foot in some water, add some of that oil. Of course, you can add other herbs like your neem. That's good to add to that. But the essential oils are good for external use. Hair, skin products. If you're going to have it internally, you want to have the berries themselves or the berries in a cooking type oil.
Michael Clark say, I used to see my granny with a bottle with rum, scorpion, and pimento for pain.
Yeah, man, the scorpion tail. Remember that?
What is that about, Doc? What was the scorpion tail about? What was that about?
It is another crude extract. It's another natural compound that's found in the scorpion tail that helps with pain. So putting it in the rum, it's extracted, and the blend of the herbs help to reduce the swelling and the redness, and anti-inflammatory properties increase.
I saw that in the country. It was a regular thing. You go in the country and you'll see it in the house, and you're told, it is, if anything bites you, you have to use it to apply.
Yes, you can grab the pimento leaves or the bay rum leaves. It helps to reduce the swelling. But I'm not seeing as many scorpion.
I couldn't tell last week I saw a scorpion in Jamaica.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. So I think the last time I looked on that, we have to be preserving the little ones that we have left. It's not as rampant.
Me kind of glad to me not see them. I did afraid of them. Me did afraid of them.
Yes,
me no want a scorpion.
Bite me. Me so afraid of them. So I'm glad me not see them, Doc.
It's a part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, we can do without that one.
Colin White says pimento is a nice spice to put on your jerk pork or your chicken. Me know the pork,
It is. And that's why it has its name, allspice. Because jerk chicken, across the world, you can't make jerk chicken without pimento. And that's one of the things we are known for. Jerk chicken and pimento.
Yes.
Definitely. Jerk everything. Vegetable, fruit, pork, chicken,
and
fish.
Your ham.
Ham. Definitely. So brings out the flavor and enhances the flavor.
The Woolmer's boy says he's in Pennsylvania and he buys powdered pimento in the supermarket. And as you said, Doc, it's called allspice, he says.
Yes.
Robert McKenzie is asking if there's such a thing as pimento Viagra.
There's not pimento Viagra, but the effects it has can enhance the medicinal component, strengthen the muscle. so you can enhance activities in that regard. But you combine it with a couple other herbs, then you have a herbal Viagra with pimento in there. Some sarsaparilla, cheney root, and pimento berries at least. Yeah, you'll get some help in that regard.
Strengthens the muscle. All right.
Yes.
Bugs, you need to write that down. Lisa, the money magnet, says, how do you use it for hair growth? Do you boil it or soak it?
If it's the pimento water, you'd boil it. So you can use the pimento water, spray on the hair, or pour it in the hair before you shampoo or when you're shampooing or rinsing. If you want to wear it or use it as a leave-in, then you'd soak it in oil. Soak it in oil, and you squeeze the oil or apply it to the scalp and the shaft of the hair. Helps to stimulate growth, get rid of dandruff, etc. from the skin and scalp.
Mm-hmm. Full disclose on YouTube says pimento rich in iron, copper, and magnesium. Is that so, Doc?
Yes, it has quite a few micronutrients within the berries. We don't call it a significant source because we normally just drop a few berries in our food, but there's always room for more minerals. So it's a good addition to have to our diet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to take your calls for Dr. Daly. Yeah, Levy is our first caller. Good evening, Levy.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Levy.
Yes, I just want to weigh in on the pimento argument there. I could add something. Back in the days when we were in the country, they would crush up the leaf also, put the corn pork like in a keg, and put the leaf and so forth in there, and that keep it as long as you want it.
Mm-hmm.
The pimento leaf, and the little bramble stick pimento. Yeah, man. So they use it to keep the corn pork. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Levy, because that's a natural fumigant.
Right. And also, the pimento wood, anytime it dry, like, the best thing that to make fire, man. Especially if you cook all curry goat with like with the wood upon the outside fire, and the pimento wood. Wood that, yes, man. You cook curry goat sweet.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, man. Yeah, man, it's on the lagoon.
Yes.
Yeah, man, so I just make a contribution.
All right, thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Yeah, so the pimento.
Full disclosure was asking me to ask you, Doc. Oh, I lost the question. The pimento leaf, can you have it as a tea?
Yes, you can have it as a tea. The pimento leaf, the pimento berries, the pimento bark, we use them medicinally. So the leaf and the berries can be had as a tea. The bark, we usually cook it. Cook with it, rather. Cook with it, meaning similar to what Levy said, adding it to wood fire, and that flavor that comes up, it enhances whatever we're cooking. We also use it in the jerk pan when making jerk chicken. So we not only use the berries on the chicken, we also use the pimento wood as a part of the fire, and that enhances the flavor of the food.
Yes.
We also mentioned it being used with the corn pork. It's a natural fumigant, so it's a food fumigant. Keeps the food fresh, especially meat and poultry, because it has pest control abilities. And you find that with a lot of the members in this family, Myrtaceae family, eucalyptus. You could just break the branch, carry it to the hospital, it cleans the air, and it's a natural insecticide, fumicide, and help to, get rid of pests.
Good. All right. No more calls for Dr. Daly. Anything else? Michael is on the line for you, Dr. Daly. Michael?
Good evening, Mr. Hughes. How are you, sir?
I am alive. How are you?
We're good, sir. We're good.
Good.
Good evening, miss.
He's telling you good evening.
Oh, good evening, Michael.
Yeah, well, me like the program this evening because I just come out of the woods and something and I listen about the pimento, man. Pimento is a thing I grew up in my area like nothing in the first time days, you know. First, when you reap it off of the tree, you put it in a barbecue or for a zinc and you dry it. And you dry it, man. It do like, in a them time, fridge never even there, you know, they used to use store all meat, you know, them canned meat and put on and thing, you know, to put on and thing, you know. It's a very good thing, man.
Yeah. You know, Michael, I'm fascinated by a word you use. Jamaicans use it. Yeah, put it on the zinc for dry it. Yeah, why dry?
Say that again.
The use is say you put it on the zinc for dry it. For dry it. What do you mean by dry it?
For dry, man. You know,
dry, not draw.
No, not dry.
Oh.
Dry.
Dry. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Get it now.
You dry it, man. My father have enough ferment, you know, we have to all, when we reap it all and thing them, and we have to put it to dry and pick it out and sell it to the Jamaica Agricultural Society in a them time. Yeah, man. It's a very good topic you have this evening, man.
So tell me something. It grow wild up in the mountains there, Michael?
Like all in a year, what them call Dallas Castle, Consecution Hill, Queen Hill, Rustin Valley, all them places, and them things that grow, man.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, man. Especially I come up in the summer here, you know, almost reaping time. Because I have a couple of trees where well beer still, you know. Yeah, man.
And you're able to sell it in a town?
Yeah, man. If you want to sell it, you can get it sold, man.
Oh. So when I leave coffee and go do pimento?
No, man.
We start up Michael about the coffee
original, you know, man.
We start him up with the coffee for.
So look here, even the pimento leaf, you know, good to make tea too, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, the leaves can make tea to make it a nice flavor, almost like ginger.
Yes.
Yeah, man. We can't leave out the coffee that they use, because you see...
But you not make no money from coffee.
Number one for Jamaica.
But you not make no money from it. You not make no money from it. So leave it out and go grow pimento.
It just come in like it, you know, I make no money out of the journalists.
True. Very true.
Yeah, you can't leave it out.
No, Michael, that's easy.
Michael
said journalists them broke.
Michael, you don't know how accurate you are.
I'm always Philip Jackson, you know, I'm always really up, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a virgin, you know.
On the YouTube.
Chuck, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Very good, Michael.
Some more listeners, you know, Mr. Hughes, and could enjoy the rest of the evening. And thanks.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Bring this evening, man.
All right, Michael.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
I need to go visit Michael up in the mountains. You know?
Michael said journalists they're broke.
But we not left it.
Yes, I love it. So
he's so right.
True.
Oh dear. All right, so we're gonna go now. Yeah, we're gonna leave it there for the evening, unless you have something else to tell us, Doc. Is that it for the pimento this evening?
that is it. And there's so much we can use the pimento for. So start getting the berries, add it to your food and spices, and use it for skincare. Because even if you're trying to stop smoking, get some pimento leaves, because that's one of the ways persons usually try to stop smoking, by putting the leaves in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So many medicinal properties. It's right in our backyards, and we can definitely help with our own wellness. So get some pimento.
Good. Thank you very much. Our resident pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly, with Nature's Remedies.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Have a good night.
Good. After the break, India and Pakistan, are they about to go to war again?
Get ready for a heartwarming and inspiring celebration as E-Zone honors the dedicated heroes of education on Teachers' Day with a special live outside broadcast from Lorna Auto Prep School. Join us on Wednesday, May 7 from 1 to 3 p.m. as we recognize and celebrate the teachers who shape minds, build futures, and inspire greatness every single day. So don't miss it. Celebrate Teachers' Day with the E-Zone and Lorna Auto Prep School on May 7 from 1 to 3 p.m. Catch the live stream on Nationwide 90 FM's YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Chris and Charles, JTA Cooperative Credit Union, Imperial Optical, Garden Group's Shine 5K Run Walk, and Kingston Bookshop.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
25 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. You're inside at Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes. And we're going to be joined...
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
Yes, I was about to introduce you.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry. My fault.
Well, Mahiri has joined us in studio because this afternoon, two nuclear-armed neighbors, India and Pakistan, went at it. They're on the brink of war this evening, so much so the global body, the United Nations Secretary General, called for them to exercise restraint, yes, because they are nuclear-armed countries and they can do a lot of damage, yes. Now, Mahiri has been tracking this story. Mahiri, what is the very latest?
So, as of right now, what's happened is India has responded to the attack from April 22. So I guess the best way to go about this would be to explain the timeline of events.
Mm-hmm.
So April 22 last month, an attack was carried out in an area near Pahalgam, which is in a region called Kashmir. And the thing about that region is that it's partially administered both by Pakistan and India. So they're neighbors. They're right beside each other. So the attack was carried out, or it's believed to have been carried out by an extremist group known as the Resistance Front.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe their goal is that they want that part of the region that is owned by India. So apparently eyewitnesses on the day said some of the assailants questioned persons what their religious identity was before opening fire. So that's as much as we know. What we do know is that 26 people were killed in the attack, and 25 of them were Indians. I believe the other person was a Nepali. So India naturally said that they would be responding to this attack, and Pakistan condemned the attack. They were saying, listen, we condemn it. We will also investigate because it's a terrorist attack. That's not something a country would ever condone. So this has been a region that has been hotly contested between the two for a very long time. Back to the 40s, I believe, and they've had 3 wars between the two nations, not necessarily concerning Kashmir, but something like that. So, following the attack, India announced a bunch of measures in regards to the attack to protect them from maybe another one. So they downgraded diplomatic ties, they shut down the border crossing between the two nations, they canceled all visas, all Pakistani visas. And one major thing they did was they suspended the 1960 Indus Water Treaty.
Yes.
And that's very important because the Indus River that both countries have a treaty. So they both use water from the river. And India has basically dashed it. And Pakistan, they kind of clapped back with their own measures because they said that any attempts to restrict their country from using that river water would basically be a declaration of war. So they've canceled all Indian visas. They've closed the airspace to Indian flights. They've suspended all trade with India because of how they've responded to the matter. So anyways, we fast forward to today and India launched what it has dubbed Operation Sindoor. And that's been an attack on 9 sites that they believe have terrorist infrastructure. And in retaliation, Pakistan officials have said recently, I believe a couple minutes ago, it hasn't even been an hour yet, that they have shot down 2 Indian jets in retaliation to this attack. And I believe the Indian officials have labeled that attack as cowardly. And I think...
You mean Pakistan shot down those 2
Pakistan
Indian
shot down 2 Indian aircrafts to which India labeled that attack, the jet attack, as cowardly. So, as you can imagine, a lot of world leaders are a bit on edge because of the matter. We've had the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, he's calling for both of them to stop. Even Donald Trump, who was briefed about what happened, the operation this morning, he said, quote, "It's a shame. We just heard about it as we were walking through the doors of the Oval, just heard about it." He says, "I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, and he hopes it ends very quickly." So I think the biggest fear in this conflict, it has to be labeled a conflict at this point because both military operations have taken place. The biggest fear now is that both countries are nuclear powers.
Yep.
Both of them have possession of nuclear weaponry.
Yep.
India became a nuclear power in 1974. They have like 164 nuclear weapons last we checked. Pakistan became a nuclear power in 1998. They have like 170 of them. And neither country has ever used them before, but given the level that this could potentially rise to if places like the UN and the US and all the other countries around can't ease these tensions, there's a great fear rather.
There is a real fear because you don't want nuclear arms being used at all anywhere on Earth. And then the history of the conflict, the wars between India and Pakistan, is a rather hotly contested history. They don't like each other. Yeah, they've never liked each other. One is a dominant Muslim country, the other Hindu country, and that fuels a conflict, long-running conflict between India and Pakistan. And of course, they're in an area where they're all neighbors of China. Yeah, and you don't know if this were not to be quelled, who will China back or the U.S., and then you get into all kinds of problems that you really don't want for the world community. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope that they will take it easy. There should be a cooling off period. Yeah?
Well, it's just hard to see. At least from my perspective, I was tasked with covering this less than 2 hours ago. So I had no idea how any of this worked until Mr. Hughes told me, you need to research on this. And so I did. But the fear is very legit because I wouldn't have expected Pakistan, at least based on how things have taken place so far, I wouldn't have expected a retaliation as quickly as it came.
Yep.
That caught me off guard a lot. I believe Pakistan did report that in the strikes from India, I believe they said around seven to 9 people were killed, one of which was a child.
Yep.
And so that's what led to the retaliatory attacks from Pakistan. I know.
I'm sure the world powers, Washington, Beijing, Moscow, because the Russians have some influence as well over India, less so Pakistan. And, the Saudi Arabians also have some influence there because it's a larger part of their neighborhood. Yeah. Will be blowing up the phones now to say to the likes of the Pakistani leader and the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, cool it. Yeah, we don't need this. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. Yeah?
You're welcome.
Very well. Time for the break. After the break, your calls. The numbers to call us, 876-630-93-7124 or 876-618-8255.
Married life is a serious thing. Boy, careful how you put on the wedding ring.
For better or worse, in sickness or health, richer or poorer. But who generally wins in this equation? Or when the maths now add up? So many men avoid marriage, or those within complain of the constant worry that they can lose everything in the end. How reasonable are these thoughts though? Is it fair to use history and judge the likely outcome? If Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can lose a lot, what about the average Joe? Join me, Rodman Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, is marriage just a legal contract that benefits women and children? What happened to the man them?
Husband and wife, pain and problem in a them life. It's in a them life, in a them life.
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. Healthy people, healthy environment. Viewers, here's to the story.
ICMS Limited. Yes, we can bring in the money.
And Durex, distributed by Massey Distribution Limited, Jamaica.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Well, we're going to get your calls now. 14 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. Willow?
Good evening, Mr. Yuso.
I am fine, Willow.
Yes.
You're the same Willow on YouTube? Speak to your prowess?
Man, that a Willow Will.
Oh, I see.
Willow Will is on YouTube.
Okay.
But right. You asked me already and me give you my correct name.
But me can't remember all the name them, you know.
All right, just remember Willow.
Willow.
Yeah. You carry a news this evening. I wonder if it's AI news. The person who was talking is somebody interpret that person. If it's AI, interpret that person.
And I can guess which story.
I think I know.
Which one of the stories?
Out of Parliament.
Right, Mr. You the one out of Parliament. You wonder if AI. Because he won't tell the same never say it. He will tell you that he never say it.
He can't say that.
He can't say that?
No, he couldn't say that.
So Mr. Hughes.
If he said that, he's right. Certified mad.
No, but you go into Parliament and you said it in Parliament. And all of a sudden now you have a change of mind, everything turn. Why? You said get on with the business that you can get on
with. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell me to get on, make us come together and get on with the business that you can get on with. I expect that. No. It is before you. Look, we get on with that business now. And when we reach the crossroad of the next one, we can go on with the next one. But get whatever to be done now, you said let we get that done now and get that out of the way. So all of a sudden now you have a change of heart. So how can we trust this man?
It is called the politics of expediency, sir. Doing what you think is popular in the moment. No principle. Yeah, you don't operate on principle. You operate on expediency. What you think is best at the moment.
Okay. So
and then these things catch up on you.
Yeah, so when him take over, because when him win now, the general election, and certain things him talk, and then him going to go back and eat. Is the same thing?
Yeah.
That is what I'm expect to run the country?
Yeah.
That is what I'm expect.
Well, it's an indication of what you could get if you decide to give him that power.
Well, why? Well, at least the other day, I was listening to you in the car because my radio in the car stuck on Nationwide, and I move up on Nationwide. A lady coming at the car, she's in the front of the car, and I'm saying, you can't listen to that man there? You can't listen to that man there? I say, what do you mean if I can't listen to that man? I say, him me I listen to. So if you don't want to listen to him, come out of the car. Because my station now go move and I now go play no music where no suitable for play. Right? So I tell her, I said, listen to me. My wife stuck on that station at home. Me stuck on that station because my wife made me get to love to listen to you and listen to Nationwide. So I tell her, I said, listen to me. You know, come in and care, come tell me. Him biased. I say, listen to me. Listen to me. The man is not biased. The man taught the truth. And when time he taught the truth, we just don't like the truth. And that is the problem with we Jamaican. If the things no suit we don't like it. Right? And me say, listen to me, we have to look. That's why I'm glad about the reading thing, you know. Because you see, reading is knowledge. And they say, if we're not reading, Mr. Hughes, telling the good thing, then go up on stage and jump up and say, we say, yeah. We don't listen to the content of what the person said. And we jump with it. You understand?
Yes.
So, Mr. Hughes.
Don't worry yourself, Willow. Yeah, make sure you and your family are well informed.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I love country, my country, and people are criticize you. And me tell them to listen to me. You're more fear than all of them who don't listen to because they are so one-sided, they're not balanced. You tear down the both side and time things not right. And I love that. But them like in time of one side tear down. Oh.
All right, Willow. Take care of yourself, yeah?
Yeah, and I see you, Mr. Hughes, and take care.
Good.
Mr. Portmore, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you doing? Everything good?
Yes, man. How are you?
Well, not so good at all, you know. Not so good at all.
What happened?
Sometimes I wish I could call and not talk about politics. But at this time, you have to touch it. You understand me? And when you look around you, you wonder. I'm in St. Catherine Southern. And when I drive into the other constituencies, Big Rob, Caroline, I wish one of them was over in St. Catherine Southern. You know? People keep voting for Fitzjackson, and Fitzjackson put up a lot of billboards. Instead of fixing the places, cleaning up the places, because Portmore is literally a dump nowadays, you know. A lot of places you go, the garbage just piling up, and he's doing nothing. Leon Thomas doing nothing. I get to understand that Mr. Dabney has been in contact with the WSMA, and they'll be coming in between this week and next week to do some work in getting some of the places cleaned. When you talk about the roads, when you go into the Brayton area, you understand, around where the late Vivian lived, around that side, you wonder if it's a pigsty. You understand? The Brayton Road that they just fix, that they just whatever they do, because I don't know what they do there. You still have to be bobbing and weaving out there. You understand? And it's a total disgrace. You wonder if you have an MP in St. Catherine Southern. You really have to wonder. And I can't say for the love of God how they keep voting for Fitz Jackson.
Well,
Mr. Dabney has been making himself available. He ran the last election, lost by a little over 700. And I'm hoping and praying that the people in St. Catherine Southern will say enough is enough. And to ensure that Mr. Delroy Dabney get the chance, to ensure that he do what the Portmore people want Fitz Jackson to do and not doing it. You know, I'm going to tell you something, if you don't have the passion for the people, and if you don't have the love for the work, and at the end of the day you can say, yes, I did this, I achieved this, then it don't make no sense, It don't make no sense.
Well, you have to ask yourself then, if Mr. Jackson wasn't performing, why is he then successful at being re-elected for 6-7 elections in a row? He must be doing something right.
I'm going to tell you something, Cliff. Fitz Jackson offered them nothing, He has never, ever campaigned. It's now, since Dabney gave him a run for money the last election, that he's now out there campaigning, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people is saying that PNP give them house. That's one. Two, they are what they call thankful because them get houses from PNP. But I want to know if they didn't pay housing trust through the Jamaica Labour Party as well.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I know that Bruce Golding had to do some work to ensure that housing trust, NHT, is very viable. Today, remember, it almost went down, and people borrowed money from it, never put it back. And NHT almost crashed. Let me tell you something, sir. We don't have any memories, And just as how the Prime Minister said to Mark Golding, he is a workless father. I'm wondering because people must be looking at the other two constituencies and looking at St. Catherine Southern and wondering what is really happening. And I'm hoping that they will give the Jamaica Labour Party a chance in this constituency to ensure that Delroy Dabney win and that Delroy Dabney can do the work that is necessary to ensure that we live in fresh air. Things get done.
All right, sir. All the best to you and Mr. Dabney. Yeah?
All right, sir.
All right, that's how we're going to leave it for this evening. Want to say thanks to all of our callers, our YouTubers, our WhatsAppers, and our tweets. To the members of the news and production team led by Cara Powell. Thank you all so much. Yeah, we're going to make way now for Prescription for Life. Yeah? I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
Good night.